at Roll20 Scene. Hello everybody, this is Mic Check 1 2. Nathan Blades making sure. Yes,
Nathan Blades.
good. Yay!
Nathan Blades about to cry.
Right,
Okay.
yeah, no. I'm gonna go back to the standby scene so we can actually have a natural transition like I did this right the first time. Give me a second. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Cast the Dice on the Neoncaster channel. I am your host, the androgynous android game show host from the future, Nathan Blades, and today we are playing Hack the Planet. I have three wonderful guests with me. We have Ruben, once again, fan favorite, crowd favorite Ruben.
Yeah, I'm walking into the arena. Everyone's throwing roses and popcorn at me.
Woo, yeah.
Here I am.
We have, returning from our Mystic Lilies one-shot, Amy.
Hello, I'm just gonna mince around in the shadows and hope not to cause too many problems.
And
Throw
this,
the roses at that guy.
yeah. You're the kind of like a person who kind of comes in after everybody's fought a little bit in the wrestling arena. You just kind of drop in and claim victories.
Whee!
And we also have a very, very special guest. We have from the Surprise Round RPG Twitch, the GM of Valor Academy. We have Austin, everybody. Welcome, Austin.
And Austin runs in through the crowd with a chair, just completely unannounced, smashes the ref over the head, and puts his hands in the air. Woo! Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, no, it's dope to have you on the show. This is actually pretty cool. I've followed Surprise Round RPG stuff for quite a while, and I really enjoy Valor Academy. I'm always how to put this. As a GM, I like to go and follow other GMs' works because it expands my own horizons, and I learn a lot more from watching other people play. And I was like, well, I also want to reach out to those people that do dope content. And if I have the opportunity to play with them, then I don't know, maybe it's giving back, maybe it's learning in a different way. But I figured this is a cool experiment/experience. So I'm honored to have you join me.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm very happy to be here. I appreciate you reaching out to me and setting all of this up.
No problem, no problem. Actually, for the people who are tuning in or who are listening to this in the future who don't know about Valor Academy and Surprise Round RPG, how about you go and give us the sell?
Okay, so yeah, Surprise Round RPG is it's a network of me and a bunch of my friends. We're well known for things like anime campaign, which turned into Epithet Erased, which you can check out over at on YouTube through Jello Apocalypse. We are just a group of we're a close-knit group of people who really love tabletop games, and we wanted to sort of all come together and try to sort of push each other to make really great content through the medium of tabletop role-playing games. And so I have been running for a little over a year now. One of the things that's been on my bucket list, Masks the Next Generation via Valor Academy, which is a story about teenage superheroes growing into their own, that deals with some kind of heavy emotional topics, and it is all about saving the day in a world that probably isn't ready to have superheroes. And they're out of the bag and there's nothing they can do about them now. And so that's kind of the elevator pitch for Valor Academy.
Yeah. Teen drama is so good as a fuel for tabletop, because it always gives you that additional vector for emotional conflict. I'm very much a social drama in an RPG kind of person than straight up combat. but then when you can combine both, like Masks does, that is a good time. Although, speaking of, I guess, teens involving themselves in wayward and wanton drama, Hack the Planet. Yeah, a one-page RPG by Grant Howitt. He is the Honey Heist guy, if you know him through that. You might also know him through his bigger RPGs Spire and Heart, which recently finished Kickstarter. Hack the Planet is very specifically about hacker teens sticking it to the man, a big send-up of the movie Hackers, which you may or may not have seen. I think it is required cyberpunk viewing if you're a fan of the genre.
It's a special film.
I guess at some point, apparently, as I understand, they did a surprising amount of research where all the kind of tech stuff is somewhat accurate, which is impressive considering the rest of it is a very, very wild ride, but I guess kind of set a subculture in motion, even if that subculture is skin-tight leopard print t-shirts, which, you know, mood.
I mean, it has to start accurate if it's going to be completely inaccurate by the end of it.
Absolutely. You can find the one-pager for Hack the Planet yourself on Grant Howitt's Patreon and his itch.io, but we're going to be going through all the bits and pieces of how to build your character and everything live on air, so you can see how that operates. To dramatically read from the rule sheet in front of me. You are a teenage hacker, a console cowboy or cowgirl or cowperson in the year 1995, although I'm going to immediately stretch what year this is in. You face persecution from
1990X.
Yeah. On the cusp of 1990X to 2000X, that's where we're hovering right now. You face persecution from the authorities because they think you're a criminal. You think you're a genius. Some days, you're both right. So, for each of your characters, you're going to need to pick a boring name and a cool handle. I think some of this has been done in advance. I think the Roll20 view does have your character hacker names available. But what are your mundane names?
Your meat space names. I guess I'll start with my character. My is called Ebru Darling.
Of the Darlings. What in this?
Darling clan.
See, that's a cool surname. How dare you cheat?
That is a cool name.
I know. I can't. Listen. I can sabotage myself and go with like Ebru, just like Stevenson or Jack. Jack.
No, we can allow one cool lady. That's allowed.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's one cool name.
But your hacker name is
My hack name is FTW.
Nice.
And I will not say what it stands for. You're gonna have to go back to the glorious year of 1995 and like decrypt those acronyms yourself. But
Only true millennials will know what FTW stands for. I guess.
Go into the AOL chat and ask around.
Oh man, I'm definitely gonna have to kind of find some way to work in AOL or like MSN Messenger into the proceedings of this somehow.
Oh dear.
Amy, do you want to go next?
Yeah. I'm gonna say my rowdy boy's name is Jacob Hill. That's his basic name.
Yes. But on the job, on the slick interwebs, you go as Vagabond.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
And Austin.
Yeah, so today I'm going to be playing Prescott Wilkinley, aka Haywire.
Oh my god.
I can hear your polo shirt.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I can hear it.
Wilkinley, yes. Oh, it's something you had to actually look up to see what FTW means. We're in the new generation.
Success.
A whole new age. I have immediately aged by 50 years, and now I turn to
I
dust.
could show you the world. Cyberspace, it's cool.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Digital carpet ride writes into notes. That's very, very useful. Okay. Obviously, in the world of being a cool hacker teen, your clothing is a large part of your outfit. I will fully let you decide what outfit you generally wear, but what we're going to roll here is going to add maybe some additional accents, which you can include or reject. The Tabletop RPG police are not going to break down my door and tell me that I'm playing this game incorrectly. So, we're going to go roll 2d10, which I can do in real life or you can do in Roll20. We can, however you feel, however your heart takes you.
I'm not ashamed doing Roll20.
Okay.
I'm a roll 'em.
Yeah. Any order. Anybody can go first for their outfit. Give me 2d10.
2d10. All right. I'll go ahead.
Okay, a 4 and a 3. You have knee-high shit kickers and
Hell yeah.
too many piercings.
Okay. The kind of already makes my icon incorrect, but you know,
yeah.
I'm gonna go. I'll roll with it.
The Hack the Planet is very, very like improv heavy, but running things on the internet when you want to have fancy assets means you need to do pre-prep. So I had to kind of strike that balance in between, just fully realizing that
Believe
some of
me, I know.
Mhm.
I know the pain of that.
I am definitely preaching to the choir on that one, but yes, I love the knee-high shit kickers is a very good option. Okay, who next?
I guess I'll...
Mhm.
So rolling 2d10. I have a 6 and a 1.
Beautiful. You have neon camouflage and two-tone leathers.
Whoa.
That actually kind of perfectly matches my character.
Yeah.
Considering the leathers he wears. I imagine a neon is like on his face where it goes, it goes into the dark and you see like a little a grin made of really sharp pointy
Oh
teeth.
man, it lights up in the dark. That's very good.
Oh, good.
Nice.
All right.
Okay, bring it home, FTW.
FTW, what are you wearing? A 10 and a 3.
Mm-hmm. You also have too many piercings, although you can re-roll that if you don't want to match. But you also have enormous headphones.
Ooh, that kind of works. I will. Yeah. No, I'm into that.
I have decided that my too many piercings are all on my body,
Mm-hmm.
and none on my face.
That's very, very sensible. Whether we see them or not remains to be seen
Yeah.
over the course of the narrative.
Mine are definitely on the face.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Oh, also, by the by, you also wear rollerblades. This is non-negotiable. Rules as written. So, yeah. I will allow just one of you, to option to a skateboard if you want to go and be a rules traitor.
Oh no, I'm not gonna negotiate with the non-negotiable.
I am so taking that skateboard.
Hell yeah.
You have the only skateboard in the universe. Be proud of it.
People
You
what is that
have
invention?
the skateboard. You get the skateboard, but you still have rollerblades. So good luck.
He's wearing
Rollerblades on
rollerblades
skateboards.
on a skateboard. That's
Hell yeah.
amazing.
The sickest tricks you could feasibly do. You also have goals, one of which is public and one of which is secret. We're all going to roll for the public goal in Roll20, and then otherwise you can roll to yourself. Do all of you have access to the copy of the rules? I think I gave y'all the PDF.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right
I
now.
do.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll let you roll privately your secret goal. Not even I know what it is. Ooh. As a GM, I'm like closing my eyes and letting go of the wheel already. How saucy. But we're going to go and do one roll for your public goal. If you manage to achieve it, then you gain bonuses to your dice. Normally this is a D6 game, but if you complete your public goal, you get D8s. So that's fun. Who wants to go first with their public goal?
I can. I don't mind.
Sure thing.
So it's a single D10, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And what do we got?
Your public goal is to show random player character that you're hot shit.
All
So,
right, cool.
Okay.
Can I
Let's.
just say that the chat is really, it's just great because someone posted a link to the headphones that my character would be wearing, and yeah, no, that's canon.
Mm-hmm.
That's-
Okay.
Oh, excellent.
I need to. Oh my god. I'll find some way to make that a pog or something in this. I don't know. While y'all fully busted during a scene, I'll find some way to include it. That's disgusting and amazing. Good. Mhm. Going back on topic, let's go and roll 1d2 to see whether you are trying to convince For the Win or Vagabond or For the Win whether you're hot shit. You are trying to convince Vagabond that you are hot shit.
Oh.
Cool.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Okay, Vagabond, go roll me 1d10.
Okay. There we go.
With an 8. To hack something that's never been hacked before.
Ah, that's the one I wanted. That's great.
My God. I'm gonna hack the last place that hasn't been hacked. Space.
To exceed, to go far beyond. Beautiful, beautiful.
I'm
For the win.
hacking. I'm in. And, you know, you just zoom
Hacking
in on the moon.
photosynthesis.
Oh my- the moon has your face now.
Oh, I so want to do that. I'm going to hack a space laser.
Yes.
Ooh. Okay, alright.
Alright, let's see what my rat is up to.
5.
5.
Your public goal is to have a notorious virus named after you.
Hell
Ooh.
yes. I'm into
Beautiful.
that. I'll accept that. That is my goal. And
Meanwhile,
also in the game.
yeah, you know.
Yeah.
It's good to have a little bit of character bleed sometimes. Also, you're all going
I'm
to.
already piercing myself.
Ooh, live on
no.
air. Yeah, I'm gonna let you all like roll all sneaky like to go and find out what your secret goals are. Meanwhile, I'll explain the stats in this game. So I've complained about this in general on many mediums that I've given my opinions about tabletop RPGs, but as somebody who's played Shadowrun, I have experienced generating a character taking 4 hours, and that's miserable, and I never want to do that again. So I enjoy the fact that there are 2 stats in this game, meat space and cyberspace, all caps. Each of you have 5 points to divide between them when you start play. Roll meat when you do something difficult in the real world, roll cyber for the virtual world, and that's it. So, the big question, how meat and how cyber are you?
How
Ooh.
mean are you?
So I know for me, old Haywire here, I'm gonna go big. 4 meat, 1 cyber.
Yes.
Oh no.
hell yeah.
Ooh, interesting question.
Mine, I think Ebru is going to go little jack of all trades, you know, surfer both the cyberspace and the meat space. So I'm gonna go 3 cyber, 2 meat.
Okay. 2 meat, 3 cyber.
I'm gonna
Beautiful.
say Jacob's a lot more intimidating online than he is in real life, so he's gonna go for 4 cyber, 1 meat.
Mm-hmm.
My God.
Nice.
What a balanced team comp
Yeah,
this
we've
is.
got, yeah, we're so
Yeah.
balanced.
Okay, everyone. Can you have like 5 meat, 0 cyber?
There's
Or
nothing
not?
there's nothing saying that you can't do that, but that would
You
make
just can't have.
meat rolls automatically fail.
You lose all your bones instantly.
Yeah, I was like, you just roll along the ground like a worm.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Also, Bombardin in chat, Vagabond's public goal was to hack someone who's never been hacked before.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, the moon has been hacked before in Naruto. What?
I'm interested to see how that happened, but it's Naruto, so I'm not gonna ask.
Yeah, no, that's a very fair question. Okay. Dice math in this game is real simple. Whenever there's something is in doubt, the outcome is in doubt, you go and roll d6 equal to your relevant stat. So if you're trying to do a cool hacking thing, you'd roll your cyberspace dice. If it's a 5 or more, the die succeeds. 6s explode, so if you roll 6s, roll more. and that can get real crazy. Sometimes it will take more than one success to achieve the thing you want if you want to do something real huge. However, on the other side of things, every one that you roll, you gain a point of heat. Heat is the man, the cops, the feds, the pigs noticing you, and every 5 points of heat, they get a bit more aggressive. And at 20 points of heat, they're out for blood. Although I've never seen it get that far. Who knows? Who knows? Anytime you gain heat, you gain a token. And you can spend that token to boost somebody else's dice roll as long as you explain to them why you think they're elite when you do. But we can go and review those rules when we actually get in to the meat and potatoes of this game. So with all that out of the way and we have our characters built, do we have any other questions before we get into this motherfucking shit?
I'm ready to go.
All right.
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right.
I'm ready to do cybercrime.
Mm-hmm. Who isn't ready to do cybercrime? Don't block me, Amazon. It's fine. As we move to the classroom, let's go find something appropriately chill for the classroom. Yeah, chill vibes. It is a incredibly standard Wednesday. Oh, does everybody have control of their legs, by the way?
I do.
Yeah.
Wee.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jacob.
Pops. Hey. What?
Bye.
It's very much that kind of day. It is about 4 p.m. on a Wednesday. You know, like you're cresting being able to approach the weekend, but it's incredibly arduous. You are currently in the middle of well, maths would probably be entirely your jam considering you guys are professional hackers. You guys are in the middle of history class. And your teacher, who will remain your teacher until you decide to address him via a different name, is deep within the long lineage of English kings and the very boring rule that they reigned over their nation. There seems to be a lot of talk about subjugating individuals and taking their food, and that just sits wrong with you in a way that you're maybe not quite old enough to understand, but will continue to push back against with increasing ferocity as you age.
I'm feeling a welling sense of anti-authoritarianism, but I can't articulate it quite yet. That's not what I say. Don't worry.
Are we allowed to have roller skates in class? Is that a thing?
Oh, you absolutely could not have roller skates in class, but that's the reason why you're sitting at the back.
Awesome, we're wearing them anyway.
Prescott is sitting sort of head on the table, practically asleep after his long night of living his secret double life.
Mm-hmm.
He is just sort of hardly even here. Only in body is he here. In spirit, he's surfing the net through these large through the image of large motherboards that sort of weave in and out together, the little circuitry and the lines. He's just imagining, he's dreaming that he's roller skating along those lines, weaving in and out between the large processors. And then, like, as the teacher is getting closer, he sees the lights, the sirens of the man are closing in on him. He weaves off to the left between one of the chips inside of it, and he sort of hides back. And he looks back behind him, and he sees the giant, engrossing, all-encompassing hand of the man reaching down and whacking him alongside the head. Whoa! Oh.
Yeah, you're in your dreamscape. You veer off to the side to avoid, but it's blocked off by a gigantic meter-long ruler. as the glowing eyes of the man are actually the fluorescent lights reflecting off this poor soul's glasses. He's very tired.
Me too. I look up. Sorry, sorry, sir. You were talking about a king?
Yes, indeed. I was going to let the class off early if you were able to go and answer a bit of a pop quiz question about how many sacks of gold did King. This is going to be this alternate history. I'm going to make a fake king. It's fine. King Valdez. You know, the English King Valdez.
Yeah.
The great English King Valdez, how many sacks of gold did he have in his dungeons? But it seems that you're not able to answer, and I won't let the class out until you give me the right one.
Can we help?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, is that everything we can help with?
Absolutely.
I'd like to imagine that, Ebru and Jacob, like, look at each other, like, panic, sweat breaking out. Like, oh my god, if this is Prescott fucks us up for us, we'll never go home 7 minutes early. Our lives will be ruined.
the hot new arcade game Hyperion Point is going to actually be live in your local arcade this afternoon, and you guys want to be the first in line, and you're not going to be the first in line if you end up leaving class late.
Damn.
Okay.
What do we do?
Okay. And Jacob, do we have? I guess it's 1990X.
Well,
like we
this
have
is the
I'm
thing.
guessing.
While the aesthetic is very much firmly in the mid 90s, the technology is, just because I'm going to rule it as such, very now. You have Wi-Fi within the school. You know, I think it's very, very similar to Mega Man Battle Network, where physical connection points are quite important, but all your kind of like hacker tools are on the computer you carry around with you. And I will absolutely let you describe what your kind of personal computer looks like in as much detail as you want.
Awesome. Yeah, I imagine what happens is Jacob sort of brings out his bag and brings out basically the equivalent of just a completely stripped computer. It's just wires and cores linking up to a single screen. It's basically just this Frankenstein of slotted in parts and pieces, all of which have been painted like lovingly with like neon stripes and other patterns inside of it. So it looks baller. And he's going to turn and say, okay, cause a distraction. And he is going to look up the answer to that question and send it over to Prescott, hoping that distraction will mean he'll be able to look at it.
Okay. So it seems like this is an opportunity for either Haywire or For the Win to make an attempt to distract the teacher while this hacking attempt is made.
I have a plan.
Not what I thought FTW stood for.
Oh, okay. Well, who knows? Who knows? I should probably not ascribe the acronym to FTW. That's a good point.
Yeah, and for now it's just FTW, just acronyms, just letters. But I do have a distraction, a Roadrunner gaff ready. I want to I think Ebru grabs into her bag, and she was so proud when she managed to smuggle in, despite the history lesson of kings, authoritarian figures, stealing food from the common folk, she managed to smuggle into class a single candy bar, and she retrieves it out of the bag and holds it up to the teacher, or holds it up in the air and goes "Hey, teach! Shouldn't you be taking this if you're such a king of the classroom?"
You're being a bold little shit in the real world, so that feels like a meat space roll to me.
First roll.
Absolutely.
So that's a d6, right? So do I roll the number of dice is my meat space stat?
Yeah, so since you have 2 meat space, you can roll 2d6. We have a macro at the bottom for you.
Do you?
Ooh, do you not have those? I will tell you how to set them up very, very briefly. So if you go to the toolbar at the far right, you see the gear, and left of that there's the collection.
Oh, right.
Yeah, if you go and
yes,
tick the ones that are like 1 die, 2 dice, 3 dice, and then the show macro quick bar, that will appear at the bottom for you, making your rolls silky smooth.
Oh my goodness. Let's roll those 2 dice.
Oh!
You cannot contain this little gremlin.
Sixes explode, so roll another 2d6.
2 more 6s, come on. Okay.
So that's
Wow.
3 successes, which I think is very much a critical
Nice.
success. What do you want to happen?
I want to play into this dear old man's sense of exhaustion, and I
Mhm.
want this clearly contesting authoritarian rule of the classroom. Like, I want him to just give up. I just want him to just want to quit his job at that moment.
Okay, yeah, he's kind of like, hey, oh no, hey, that's contraband. I'll be taking that from you. And he advances, and one of the other kids in class, who I will just summon out of the ether because we can, kid, just like sticks out their leg as they're running past.
Oh, no.
And yeah, he just pratfalls.
The people revolt.
You say as you jump on a desk.
Yes.
It's absolute chaos in here now.
Yeah, while all of that's going on, I'm going to reach into my bag and pull out a large Windows 95 computer monitor and set it up on my desk in secret. And I turn it on and I pull out the keyboard, and my AOL Instant Messenger blinks, and it comes up with the answer, and I look back. I look back over at FTW and I'm like, thanks. I sort of look over and give a thumbs up, and you can see under the sleeve of my coat just a hint of a piercing, and and so I'd sort of like look over and just give a curt and quick nod before quickly putting everything back away, unplugging, from the wall and all that stuff.
I
Putting
love
all of that back into my backpack.
I love the idea that you essentially have hammer space that you can pull a full ass monitor out of and into on command.
Heck
Oh
yeah.
yeah, no, it's just it's like it takes up about like 90% of my high school backpack.
Mhm.
and so yeah, I then just as he's tripping and falling and anarchy is reigning, I stand up and I give him the correct answer.
What's the correct answer? How many bags of gold did King Valdez have in his dungeons? Just arbitrarily.
Not a one.
You solved it.
He says from the ground.
He explodes.
There is kind of like a proper ego death style, like big zoom in, it goes into like black and white, his eyes sunken as the reflection in his glasses moves a bit, and you just see his beady little eyes in shock that when his lowest ranked student, Prescott Wilkinley, manages to finally get a history question right.
In Prescott's mind, the image is very quickly playing of like an old black and white movie where one guy like stabs into another guy, and like there's the big wide faced reaction, even though he's clearly like stabbing and he's catching the sword with his arm, and then he falls back, grabs his heart, and just dies, and it just kind of sort of like zooms out from that into the reflection in his eyes as he stands confident in his answer.
Ooh. You've gained in power this day entirely through cheating, but that's fine. Winners cheat. With that, the bell actually does ring, and thankfully, this very ordinary school day is now over, and you can escape to the realms beyond. Although I think this is probably a good opportunity to just very briefly talk about how y'all know each other.
Ooh, good question.
Fair. So I mean, obviously we're classmates, and so that's a good enough reason for us to at least know each other. I mean, there is also like this weird hacker underground that we're about to dive deep into, and so it could be that we sort of met through that, and then realized we all go to the same school together.
Yeah, I was thinking like the three of us, because like we sort of like know each other like handles, and one time during computer class we like looked at each other's screens and we were like, wait, you're where?
Yeah.
And then we like hacked the entire, like we shut down the school servers, and we had to all go to the dean's office together. And that like strengthened our bond a little bit.
I like the idea that happened, but also just before we realized we were all hackers, we were all trying to hack the same thing and being like, the security on this is pretty good. Oh wait, and just like we realized the other two are there. It's just like, you want to hack everything? Hack everything. Yeah.
Hack everything. Absolutely.
Jacob's catchphrase. You want to go hack the moon?
Yeah. Another planet.
I like, because especially going by the kind of like icons that everybody has, Vagabond being the most anime in terms of like hair color and hairstyle, that you have the most shonen energy of the three of you. So there's been at least one lunch break where you have like firmly planted one foot on like a bench, pointed to the skies and go, I'm gonna hack the moon.
He has definitely done that, and the thing is, he has one meat space, so I imagine each and every time he's done that, he's slipped and fallen on his ass.
Oh.
And with that, you all, the bell rings and you escape to the streets of this city. Mainframe City is of course the name of the city, because it's on the nose. You all go to Mainframe City Academy as well, of course. But yeah, we escape onto the mean streets of Mainframe City with a bit more of an upbeat tune. Let's go with this.
Nice.
Awesome.
It's definitely the middle of summer. We are enjoying the late nights. It feels like you're not staying out past curfew because the sun is still out. People wonder whether Haywire actually has much of a curfew and what their age is relative to his friends, but nobody thinks about it too hard. It might just be the actor is a little older than the others, and they weren't able to cast somebody the correct age.
It's definitely like a case of like how Luke Perry played a 17-year-old for like 10 years.
Presuming that this sort of like curved road actually exists, like the way up to school, I imagine Vagabond goes over with his skateboard, which he nicknames Bite, as in BYTE. And it also has like a neon smiley face on it. And he's like trying to grind on the half pipe, and probably just like as he's trying to do it with roller skates on in addition.
Yeah, this is Snake Spine Hill. It's like one of the many famous locations in Mainframe City, an entirely impractical winding road that snakes down all the way to the center of town below. People liked to go and race sports cars down it, but these days, in this age of rebellious teens, they've managed to go and claim this highway for themselves, and you often see many extreme downhill competitions take place here.
I think he's determined to hack the past. How can I hack the moon if I cannot hack a pathway?
Oh gosh, absolutely. It's the kind of equivalent of urban exploration. It's urban hacking.
The city won't fix this winding road. It's dangerous, so it's up to us.
Community activism, heck yeah.
We're the only one who cares. The man doesn't care.
Although,
We wholesome hackers.
actually, as it turns out, it seems that halfway down Snake Spine Hill, there is actually a traffic jam today. The lights at the bottom of the hill are very much on red, and there's a long string of cars honking and just generally causing a big disturbance, a big ruckus.
Oh no, is this blocking the path to the arcade?
Oh gosh, yeah. People have kind of got out of their cars and are starting to kind of like argue. Rubberneckers are kind of standing on the pavement and blocking the way. You can sort of see people in kind of like traffic controller caps down at the bottom of the hill. It's just all a big mess.
Oh no! If we're late, then we can't play. We can't log in. We can't. What is it? Hold on. What is the term? Dude, can I draw like a?
Logging in is fine. Jacking in is probably also within the kind of within the kind of term. Shall I go tense or aggressive with this? Let's go tense. It's not aggressive just yet.
Then we better not be late. And despite his absolutely terrible meat space score, Vagabond's spirit is going to basically compel him to try and grind over the cars.
Death grind,
Nice.
death grind, absolutely. Go and give me
look for some small equivalent of a ramp or something and go up that and go on the cars and so on.
Go and give me a meat space roll.
Oh, this is going to be terrible. I have like a 1 in so chance of succeeding. And don't.
You managed to ollie on the over the first car just fine, and you're like, yeah, I can. And then you hit a lamppost.
Oh no.
Slides down comically.
Yeah. Haywire's gonna give it a try as well. He starts he starts up at the top, and it sort of like as as Vagabond or no, not I'm sorry, as Vagabond smashes into the lamppost, Haywire's gonna look down and be like, all right, now I'll give it a try. And he sort of starts up at the top of the hill and begins rushing down the winding path, and there's a lot of awkward camera cuts and grainy filters as he starts weaving in between the cars and stuff. And I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can't ramp over one of the cars.
Fish Islands tracking.
Yeah, Fish Islands, the whole thing. And so let me roll my meat. Oh no!
Oh.
4 meat, not enough meat.
Oh no. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna have to. Obviously, it's gonna have to be more extreme music than this now. Clearly, it's gotten it's gotten
really
severe. If music actually plays, come on, Roll20, I believe in you. Yeah, there's just it's super elaborate as your character just kind of like weaves around the first car, like ollies over a pedestrian. You kind of like plant yourself onto one of the lampposts, and you like the one that Vagabond ran into, and you launch yourself and get some sick air, and you can see the entire kind of like city splayed beneath you, the wind ruffling through your hair, and then you're like, I don't think I can land this.
It's like, oh wow, I'm higher up than I thought I was. And like as I fall, I land on like there's like a couple sitting out in front of a diner with a coffee and you know just talking between them, and I just crash into their table, just smashing over everything.
Yeah.
All of the music stops. Everybody's like, oh my god. And
yeah, it's an uncomfortable scene. Vagabond, you kind of look to see your ally having flung themselves into the abyss. However, Haywire, you do catch something interesting in your slow motion flight before you eat pavement and the Danish that one of the two people you're running to run into. You just kind of have that lodge in your mouth on impact. But you see that the traffic lights at the bottom of the road that's causing the traffic jam, they're sparking.
Oh, if I wasn't just if I didn't just crack a rib, I'd be really worried about that. It gets up. Oh, sorry. I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. The owner comes out and I'm like, oh, I gotta get out of here. And then like I start trying to build momentum with the rollerblades again.
It's just trying to get back up when you've already fallen down, and it's like a spider on multiple roller skates. Just
yeah. I rush over to the group and I'm like, hey guys, those lights are out. That's why the traffic's so bad.
Vagabond just like gets up from where he basically face planted, like holds on to the lamppost to stop himself continue to roll down the hill. Right, okay. Do we maybe hack those back on? I mean, it seems kind of against the whole chaos thing, but I want to get to the arcade.
Yeah, there's no other way, since neither of you can really, like, do this, like the traffic situation. So I think it would be, I don't want to be like a good guy. I want to be a bad guy. But we should probably fix this so we can go to the arcade. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. You've not taken a major role in this scene, FTW. Is there something that you want to try and do to?
So where is the traffic light in relation to us?
There are a string of traffic lights all the way down the hill, but the one that seems to be sparking, that's holding up the traffic, is near the bottom.
Near the bottom. Okay. And like, how is it like? Do we have to cross the street, and the cars are on the street, and we can't like cross there? Or is it just like there's just too many cars all the way down the slope? And
I think I'll say you generally know from having kind of hung around in this particular area relatively often that the traffic lights are on a looped network. So if you can get inside one traffic light system, you can get inside many. So if you can probably find a nearby traffic light and see if you can solve the problem from there.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. And how I'm gonna do that is like I imagine there's like a traffic light sort of like diagonally just across from the group, but there's a car in the way. So what Ebru does, being the rat she is, she just like opens the car door like of the car and like just crawls over the lap of the person still inside behind the wheel, opens up the other door, just like exit on the left, and then just walks over, like skates over to the street light.
There's a very confused like commuting mom and kid that you just kind of like temporarily invaded the privacy of as you kind of made your way over to like a fuse box for one of the street lights, one of the traffic lights.
The mom goes, "Hey, this is my car, you can't come in," and everyone just hisses like,
"Oh no." You just kind of like horror movie girl crawl through this car through the other side. I don't think you even roll for that. You just do that.
Thank you.
But yeah,
she's doing the thing again.
I did it. I made a path. Come up here, guys.
All right, one sec. Oh, just sort of like weakly rolling over to it. Just, sorry, crawling through the doors, getting past the woman.
There is a solid, like, uncomfortable, like 2 to 3 minute shot of Haywire and Vagabond crawling through. It's like a locked off shot in the back seat of the car, just watching you two crawl through while the other two people in the car just look on in like mild shock as you kind of make your way through.
Just keep awkwardly falling every time I get any sort of momentum going, and I'm just like, sorry, and then I like bump into the car's horn, and oh, sorry.
As Vagabond goes by, he just says, "Do crimes, kids," and he just goes by.
But yes, you have an access point to the traffic light network here.
Okay, I think time has come to enter the cyberspace.
Yeah, let's do that. I actually have a cyberspace scene sort of prepared, so we'll see whether that is good or not. But while I go and set that up, what do your online avatars look like?
Ooh, I haven't thought about that.
The big questions.
Oh no,
The most
of course,
important
I know. It is a rat,
Rat.
just a rat.
Just like a big rat, a small
It's
rat.
a very big rat.
It's a very big rat. You are officially Rat Man. Oh no. Rat girl, rat chick. Oh no.
Rat chick. Yeah.
Rat chick's pretty good. Yeah,
But oh wait, it is a giant rat with like cool shades.
yeah.
They just like come down from nowhere and just slide over the eyes.
Yeah. Deal with it.
Yeah. Falling in line with like 90s internet aesthetic.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Avatar is currently a it's like a gif of a dancing baby that just says that's just flashing "deal with it" over and over again.
Gosh.
I hate it.
Jake-
Thank you.
I think Jacob went a bit somewhat artsy, considering his aesthetic is somewhat like graffiti and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine it's just like a very big, broad, like pointy, smiled face with sort of like Rayman arms that sort of reach out without a connecting arm between the hands, kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
he just kind of floats around a little bit.
Nice. And with that, you all manage to, even though there's no reason for this traffic light to have 3 access ports, it absolutely does, as you go and all connect to the network.
Whoa.
Nice.
That is cyberspace.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's
Ooh,
you can the artwork here is obviously somewhat inaccurate. It's not it's not music themed, but this was the best like video game art asset I could find. I'm not an artist, so I did a lot of video game concept art for the assets on this. But yeah, you see that it's kind of almost like a digital representation of the traffic network. You can see like the roads kind of crisscross in neon out into the distance. You think you can see someone over there?
There's an intruder. A rat.
Mm.
Wait, that's no, I'm the rat, but there's a rat in the system.
We should. Ooh, excuse me. We should check it out.
Mm. So hacking in this game is fun. When you hack in this game, you go and use jargon to do so. So whenever you're making a cyberspace check to specifically do some hacking, you can request 1 to 3 hacking words, and they give you an additional D6 for every word that you include in your bullshit mangling of computer technology to do the hack.
Yeah.
Oh, you re-roll a dice for every one that you use. So who would like to? We'll keep this one pretty expedient and just have the one hacking check. But who would like to take point on this hack?
I'll take point, considering this is something I'm actually competent at.
Cool. How many hacking words would you like to use in this hack?
Let's try 2.
All right. Can you see the deck of cards?
I can see a deck of cards.
Draw 2 cards for me, please.
Okay, draw. Draw 2 cards.
I think you can click and drag them as well. But yeah, they appear in your hand that way. But play them on the field as though one were a Yu-Gi-Oh! Crash and reboot.
Oh.
Okay,
Oh,
now I
that's
have to figure out
that's
what-
easy mode.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, yeah.
So your hacking description to go and find or deal with this intruder has to use these 2 words or up to. For each one you use, you get a free reroll of one of the die in your hacking check. So
Okay, so just to make sure, that is the hacking check like a physical thing I described, basically like my avatar doing something.
yes, absolutely. Basically, picture it as if it were like the any, whether this is like Digimon or Battle Network or fucking Reboot, that Canadian nightmare, just kind of talk about what your character does as if they were like in an action movie, but also use this terminology and then you get dice rolls.
Awesome. Yeah, I think Vagabond, the avatar, just starts sort of streaming towards this rat, and the rat just keeps running away. Sort of, there's dramatic like rat POV camera angles of it like slipping between various bits of binary and other bits of code. There's a sort of Tom and Jerry thing for a while, and eventually what happens is Vagabond grabs like another random just bit of code that's coalesced itself into a semi-solid object, just throws it, and it crashes to the ground, and the rat bumps into it. Then attempting to turn around, and Vagabond just sort of raises a hand towards the object and says, reboot. And the object sort of comes back to where it was originally, and he just sort of holds out in front of him for the rat to run into and knock itself out.
Ooh, nice. Very cool. Okay, give me a hacking check, and you can re-roll 2 of the failures.
Okay, so this is a 4 dice check.
Wow. Yeah, no. Yeah. Let's go re-roll another 2d6.
Okay. 2 dice.
Oh, and you gain a point of heat. Oh boy. This rat, you start chasing. Like you kind of wind your way down the kind of corridors of this virtual highway, and you try and pull the piece of scenery back to you with the reboot, but you get counter-hacked partway through, and the figure, the mouse that you were chasing, stands on its hind legs and like grows larger and then appears at full height. Well, yeah, he's this kind of like snotty little voice. He's punk. Nice try, but I've done that reboot trick before. Go, telekinesis! And it like glows around it with an ominous purple energy, and it just beams you in the forehead, your digital forehead.
Just like bits of binary come off like in a video game for a damage tracker.
Yes, absolutely. Now I'm gonna be the first at the arcade. I'm gonna get the top score and no one's gonna beat me. Catch you later, losers.
This is irresponsible hacking. I can't abide by this one little bit. And so I'm actually going to try to hack and see if I can't slow him down.
Absolutely.
Now, knowing what my score is for this, I'm just going to draw 3 cards.
Absolutely.
Can I just say, Rebecca, thank you so much. That is. Please look at the thing I posted in the on-air chat.
Yeah, I've also seen
it's the 3.
It's amazing.
That's us.
I've never gotten fan art in a stream before, and this is the best fan art ever. I am genuinely heartwarmed by this meme you have blessed me with on this day. But yes.
And so I pull out my I pull out my code book, and I start rifling through it while in cyberspace as well. The baby continues to dance. Sort of idly while this kid is talking his shit, and I'm like, no, I know what to do. And I pull out my deck and I start clicking and clacking on my keyboard, zoom in on all of the musculature and the ligaments. The skin disappears over my character as I'm clicking away, becoming one with the machine.
Oh my god.
Just eventually the musculature goes away too, and there's just bones, and then that and you bones in like a central nervous system, and you see the skull kind of disappears as well as it zooms in on the brain, and you can see neurons firing in every direction. Now listen, I know how I can stop him and fix everything at the same time. I just have to get into we've already made it into the connection port. If I can get close enough to him in the digital space, I can install a kill switch on him that will I can install a kill switch on him that will completely slow him down and hopefully reverse the process of all of this madness all at once. Click, 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 click. And it's pretty much just like on the screen you just see
as you just key smash your way to. Yes, absolutely. Go give me this 1d6 roll, and I guess roll it a bunch of times to see whether it does anything.
Hell yeah.
1,
Mm-hmm.
2.
Oh no.
Wow.
Last roll.
Oh,
No!
God.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Good too.
the dice. They're just against me.
Yeah, all these brain lasers, or these neuron brain lasers, like come out of your skeletal deconstructed baby skull, and they fire in all directions, raking the floor, carving these digital like lampposts and traffic lights in half, and one goes and fully hits the mysterious assailant in the chest, and they just start growing in size. I go strong on your puny hacking. And before long, there's too much data in the there's like too much processing power going on in the server at once, and it crashes, unceremoniously dumping everyone back into reality again.
Ever has a
God
flashback to
damn
just
it.
now when Vagabond and Haywire just failed into meet space, and now like, oh no.
Oh god.
no.
And
Dramatic themes.
as you it seems that crashing the traffic light system, yes, I know I used a Pokemon asset, like fight me, with the traffic system having crashed, it's actually sort of rebooted. The lights have got again and have gone back to green, and the cars are now moving on, and you kind of look on in a sigh of relief. The road is now clear. However, with both Haywire and Vagabond having gained a point of heat, there you look up from your unsuccessful hacking attempt to see that there is a policeman.
Oh
It's
all
so
right, all
close,
right.
I gotta cheese it.
What's all this then?
What
is
it
that
about, teacher?
Is that a number of hackers about?
No, I don't.
No.
I don't even know hack. I don't even have a knife.
No, me. I'm just a street thug. Nope, no hacking it.
No, we're just regular criminals. Yeah, that's what we are.
Well, street thugs are all right. It's just that, you know, in this modern day and age, mainframe city is kind of like the pinnacle of the future and all that. So cybercrime we treat very seriously. However, I love graffiti, so continue doing what you're doing. And he gives you 2 thumbs up. However, I will be keeping an eye on you lads and lass. So yeah,
Keep up the good work, officer.
Yeah.
as you were. And they unceremoniously flip and make their way.
What is that image? Is like, use your fists. The police can't help you.
Mm-hmm.
That's just. Is this right now?
Good, solid save. Oh, I was a little
We did
worried
that.
there.
Yeah.
That was all us. Yeah.
I was a little worried that that he might see my computer deck looking down.
Your whole ass PC monitor.
Yeah. I start scanning the area, looking for anybody else who might have rollerblades and might be rushing off towards the arcade a little bit faster.
Oh yeah, you definitely see a number of kids just now that the roads are clear, just cheesing it down the road, and you're like, oh gosh, we're running late. And then there is a scene transition as we make our way to Mainframe City Arcade.
Yeah. Like everyone goes like, I think the traffic jam was a setup by some evildoer who wanted to be the first one at the arcade, which is brilliant. We should have done that in the first place.
Guys, I think I might have some internal bleeding.
Yeah, you're in arcade. You landed there pretty hard. At
Just-
least you had Danish.
Just slam some Mountain Dew and you'll be fine. You know, heals all wounds.
Yeah, actually, like Emperor just like picks up the Danish that's still stuck in your hair. You gonna eat that?
Oh yeah, I guess so. actor's just like, I think I'm getting too old to play these roles. Just walk in and we're like, okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Made it to the arcade in time.
It's packed in here.
Oh no.
How are we gonna play the game? Everybody's here, and it's just like I also gotta work on something.
Mm-hmm.
You guys try to get in line for the game. I gotta go sit down and look something up real quick.
Alright.
Sure.
Fair enough.
He looks something up, which is how to fix internal rib break.
Yeah, I have a few tabs open. There's like how to tell if rib is broken, signs of hemorrhaging, do I have a concussion, and also a tab indicating an application of some sort.
Interesting. While FTW and Vagabond queue, the line is pretty long, and you see that there's a whole bunch of kids who are at the machines, but there seems to be a very smartly dressed for an arcade. Like it's almost formal wear, quite severe, very white and angular, but with really big poofy hair. And with the kind of heels that clack loud enough where you can hear them down the hallway. And you can still even hear them still over the volume of the arcade machines all going up once she kind of makes her way down. And while passing the two of you, like, pauses. Oh. Hello, you two. Are you,
Hi.
Are you here to play Hyperion Point?
What's it to you?
Well, I'm actually one of the lead developers of Hyperion Point. My name is Naomi Logan. And she poses in a way that suggests in a "you know who I am, right?" kind of air. Do either of you watch much TV?
TV.
Mm.
Yeah, it's all. I think that's one of Ebru's hobbies. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's something like an almost guilty pleasure for Jacob. So yeah, he does know who she is.
Mm-hmm. Naomi Logan is a daytime TV star and game developer. It seems that in this bizarre future of not quite 1995 and not quite 2020, video game development and streaming personalities have made their way to terrestrial daytime rather than doing like Twitch. So she's super known for being an expert programmer, but also a very charismatic interview host.
Mm-hmm. Ebru is acutely aware of who she is, and she just goes like, "Hi, hello."
Charmed, I'm sure. And she offers a very well manicured hand to shake yours.
Ebru just like grabs it with like she has two like small hands, and just grabs it with like both her hands, just kind of like shakes it up and down. Hi, hello.
Yes.
She doesn't let go, by the way.
No, her expression, she has like a micro twinge expression of let the fuck go, but then moves back to kind of like daytime presenter TV serene. Yes, thank you so much for taking an interest in Hyperion Point. I'm very excited to go and do a live demo. And I was walking past and I noticed your friend over there, the one with the face mask on.
Me? And Jacob points to himself.
Yes.
Yeah.
You are actually a very interesting fellow, I think. I would be...
Of course.
You beam with pride.
yeah, he does.
I think somebody like you should absolutely go and try our game. How would you two like to skip the queue?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Catches up. Monitor in tow. Just dragging the still connected keyboard across the floor.
Oh, him too. He's the weightlifter to our smart people. Yes.
Mm-hmm. She said, not understanding a single word of that sentence.
Good, now it is Jacob.
Mm-hmm. So, Hyperion Point is a very immersive game. I wanted to explore the idea of how character customization can be taken to a whole other... Oh, no, I'm spoiling it. I'm spoiling it. You absolutely have to have a go for yourselves. Follow me. And she, unhooks the little velvet rope that's keeping you guys hemmed in, and everybody on either side of you loudly complains as you are kind of taken to the kind of game floor. Now go up and choose a machine. Any of them will do.
Let's see.
All right, I'll just.
I think you all still have control of your legs, hopefully. Yeah, cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hyperion Point has a very kind of retro aesthetic. It feels very Shovel Knighty.
Nice.
Yeah. It's very, which actually is kind of cutting edge for the kind of time period that this is in? Question mark. You've never seen graphics like this before. And it's all kind of like, welcome to Hyperion Point, a whole new you in the RPG. Be the person that you were born to be in this cool action adventure. You're going to need one of these. And it like spits out a little like memory aphid card. If you've ever been to like a real life Japanese arcade, they tend to come with like near field communication cards that can save your save data.
Oh wow.
It's how you can keep your like fighting game ranks and stuff. It's real neat. It spits out one of those for you three.
Yep.
Pick it up.
Yep, takes it.
Mm-hmm. This is your other self. Don't lose it now. To build your character. Yeah, you stare at it. It kind of stares back at you despite being an entirely blank piece of plastic.
Kiss me.
To build your character, you're going to have to answer a number of questions. Please place on the headset and get started. Please enjoy Hyperion Point, TM.
Okay. Like Ebru before, like we're all like, like Ebru takes off her ginormous headphones and replaces it with a much smaller set of headphones. And looks to Vagabond and Haywire and goes, "Let's when we're in, let's stick together, okay?"
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we work well together, even though.
Even though all evidence so far has indicated to the contrary.
No court will convict you.
Two major errors. He's just like, you know what? And he's just gonna put like the headphones over his ears.
Ebru puts on the much larger headphones over the smaller headphones.
You have an image to maintain.
Yeah.
Haywire will put them on as well.
Mm-hmm. And so this arcade machine starts asking you personality questions. It starts off pretty straightforward, you know, like what's your favorite color? In kind of RPG video games, do you like to deal damage? Do you like to heal? Or do you like to do status effects? Are you a morning person or an evening person? On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you enjoy this brand of cereal? And it continues to ask you increasingly personal questions about yourself. FTW, what's a mundane question it asks you, and what's an uncomfortable question it asks you?
Let's see. I like the one about the like in RPG, like what's your do you deal damage? I think she answers that one she answers with, I like to deal status effects.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like a very personal like a privacy breaching question for especially for a teenager would be like what is something that your parents won't let you do? And she answers with they won't let me have coffee anymore.
Nice. Haywire, a mundane question and an invasive question.
Okay. I think the mundane question is it's sort of like how many times per day would you, or how many hours per week would you say you spend reading?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I don't know, like 10 plus. And the invasive ones are the invasive question is like maybe something like, what is the most illegal thing you've ever done? And I just enter. Well, first I sit there and I'm like, there's no scale of illegality. Like, illegal is a yes or no question, and I just enter hacking.
Yes, very good. It pauses for a while. You get like the spinning beach ball thinking when you suggest that, but the rest of the kind of questions proceed as normal. Yeah.
The cop on the street just like has a flash, like.
They sneeze. Vagabond, what's a mundane question and an invasive question it asks you?
I imagine the mundane question is like, what would you prefer most, money, power, or respect? And he just instantly like goes for money. He like tries to multiply tap the answer.
Mm-hmm.
And then the uncomfortable question is, why don't you have many friends?
Ooh.
And
I like how it knows.
That's a loaded ass question.
He sort of pauses and then says, they don't appreciate my vision.
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
But it's like there's a lot of like dots in there.
Interestingly, despite this looking like a regular like arcade with the buttons and the control stick, you still it's still kind of like typed in, like the way that the camera kind of frames this is like it's text appearing on the screen almost at speed of thought, and it cuts to real life and all of you are just kind of like hyper speed mashing on the buttons and joystick to be able to enter this information so quickly.
Like when you have to enter your name.
Score. Answers received. You're all very interesting people. Building your characters now.
I sort of like look over to the creator and I'm like, some of these questions are kind of strange.
Yeah.
Oh, it's I wouldn't worry about it too much. It's just making sure that the character that you play fully reflects you inside and out. And then she looks away.
Oh, all right. I'm actually gonna roll meat to see if I picked up on that cue.
Absolutely.
Let me do 4 dice. Oh, jeez.
Oh, and you get super into trouble as well.
Not only do I not pick up on it, but I believe my
heat.
heat now goes up to 3.
Yeah. This is also an important thing to remind, I guess, and this is my fault for not having brought it up before. For every point of heat you get, you also get an elite token. You can spend an elite token to let somebody roll +2 dice on their check, as long as you explain to them how elite they are as they do so.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was every time you got in trouble.
No, every time you get in trouble, you gain a heat point, but also simultaneously, you get this token to boost other people's rolls. So failing in a way that gets you in trouble also lets you boost your friends.
Yeah, so I imagine she might have caught what I said and might think that I'm more suspicious than I actually am because I failed the roll.
Yeah, she writes she writes something down, and is kind of like, I think that you've played the game enough for now. However, don't worry. That card will let you connect to the game from home.
Yep.
So you can go and test out your characters in your free time later.
I wanna, while we're here, while I'm still connected to the character creation system, I wanna make a hack roll.
Absolutely.
I will not say which one it is. So I will not describe it, so I won't draw extra cards. I'm just going for the pure luck.
Just gonna make a pure hack check. Okay. Yeah, I want to see.
I have 3 in hack, 3 in cyber, so I'm just gonna roll 3 dice. Well,
Wow.
Oh no. Oh, we've been really unlucky this time.
Oh,
God.
Utterly middling rolls.
Vagabond is also going to try to do the same thing. He doesn't trust anything that tries to understand who he actually is. So.
You don't understand me. No one can.
Yeah, exactly. Very much that sort of edgy teenage vibe thing. Right, so I'm gonna just roll with no additionals. Ha ha!
there it is.
Oh, there you
A
go.
success.
2 even.
3 successes.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
3
buddy.
successes. Cool.
There's the line.
Do you want to come and tell me what that does now, or is this a thing for the future?
Let's just say, yeah, that in the future when it becomes pertinent, there'll be
Okay.
like an awesome flashback to something he sees just like out the corner of his eye.
That's very good. I appreciate the fact that there's going to be a flashback later. I also took this opportunity with you, Vamp, to essentially set up a different scene because I didn't have the map for it. There's a lot of interesting thing about doing improv in a thing where you have to make assets for in advance. You don't actually know what assets you're going to use until you do. So I had to make an entirely new space, but it exists now, so it's fine.
Big mood.
After you basically get like unceremoniously guided out of the arcade by a security guard, and
Sucks. I cracked my rib for nothing.
That
game sucks. It's just a quiz.
Oh no, don't worry. As I say, the memory card that the machine gives you, it lets you go and play the game at home in your standard game box TM console. It's multi-platform, you see. So
Ebru
You have a game box.
yeah, Ebru desperately tries to just shake her hand again.
Yes,
Please.
yes. It's a pleasure meeting you. I suppose you're a fan of my daytime show.
Yes.
Huh. Well,
So nice.
I hope you continue to support. I guess I should be doing at the end of this. I should do what the surprise round does and show all the pictures that people have been posting in the chat because they are very good.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
It's
Thank
very,
you,
very
Rebecca.
good. Oh my gosh. But yes, please do enjoy Hyperion Point at home, and I hope you three have an excellent evening. And she turns away and walks into the depths of the arcade, her heels going clack, 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 even above the noise of the space. Who of you has a game box at home?
I think Ebru's uncle, because she lives with her uncle, he doesn't let her.
Oh, I think.
Uh-oh, I think we lost you.
Have you
Okay,
roboted?
back?
You're back.
Hello?
Hi.
Ah, there
Okay,
we go.
good. Yeah, I think Ebru's uncle doesn't let her have one.
Oh. No video games at home. Too much coffee.
And too much coffee, too much stimulation. She gets away a certain way.
I'm sure Prescott has one at home.
Absolutely. We go and we will go and make a polite transition to Prescott's pad, which is very fancy.
Whoa.
There we go.
Yeah.
I go over. I put my backpack down. I say hi to my parents who don't look much older than I do. and I'm just
the actor that plays Haywire just puts on like two wigs, like a mom wig and a dad wig.
Yeah.
Welcome home, son.
Hello, son. Are you winning? And
Always, Dad. Always.
And he's just like, Dad, you don't win when you don't play by the rules. And he's just like, I don't understand the kids these days. And he says, hi, Prescott's friends.
Oh yeah, no. Hi, Prescott's friends. How are you all doing today? It's very smooth.
I'm fine. I saw a famous person today.
Oh really? Who?
Yeah. What was her name again?
Naomi Logan.
Naomi. Yeah.
Naomi Logan. She's on TV.
Oh yes, I am something of a fan. and there is like a brief kind of like cutaway of like Logan Con 1990X with Prescott's dad kind of like leading the Naomi Logan cosplay parade.
He's got glow sticks and a headband.
Yeah. She had an idol career when she was in her teens. And now that she's older, she moved to like daytime TV and video game development, and it seems that Prescott's dad was a fan. Let's go find the Prescott's dad, because they might be important now.
It's just the current image of Haywire, but with mustache.
With a mustache, yeah.
Yeah.
Kaboo is
Jacob
Prescott's dad.
There we go.
Oh.
Dick Nestle walks over, flops onto the couch, and says, "I have not been having a good day. I've just had some personal revelations, and personal revelations suck."
Mm-hmm.
Jacob, this is someone's parents' house. It's not a therapist. Please.
He gives you a middle finger and just continues to lay flop.
All right, let me go put this into the game box.
Mm-hmm.
And so he goes over and he puts his memory card and and game cart into the game box, which accepts it from seemingly no port.
Yeah, it just works. The marvels of modern technology.
Indeed. All right, let's see if this game was worth shattering my wrist over.
Yeah.
Position on the sky. Yeah, Ever just hangs off the side, I guess.
I need to check if on OBS that. Yeah, you just subtly appear over the edge of the framing. Ebru, that's perfect. Perfect.
Hello.
Yeah. Very good.
Jesus again.
But yeah, the game turns out to be something of a think like a Diablo, or maybe a Gauntlet, might be more period accurate to what this is. Multiplayer, everybody has a controller button bashing to try and fight as many zombies as possible. That kind of deal. While you got your invasive questions, what kind of character do you think you ended up with? Did you just end up with your avatars from standard hacking, or did it end up rather unexpected?
Yeah, the part that occurred, and that was the hack roll that I attempted to ensure that instead of like having a like personality test and like, oh, you ought to look like this, like instead like the avatar would just look like a rat with shades.
You get a rat body with a human head.
Oh my god, how does a human head look?
I think let's go and double check your questions again. They have like Nagato Komaeda like spiral eyes. They vibrate a little bit. It seems that this thing is an act against God, and the monsters kind of target you directly more aggressively than everybody else. It seems that you are now de facto the tank, because even the enemies don't like this character model. Ooh.
Oh.
The fucking Poe don't like the character model either.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cops are here. I'm being swatted because of my character creator. No.
Oh no.
Yeah, go ahead, Vagabond.
Yeah, I imagine Vagabonds kind of looks very similar to the original sort of one with the weird sort of smiley face with the Rayman arms, but this time this one's been super edged up, so it's like got that really like long black leather coat that just sort of tails off, and on the back of it it's just got like a loner like graffitied into it with spray paint, but it does the sort of It Chapter 2 thing of crossing out the N and replacing it with V in red, so it just says lover.
Nice.
For Prescott, he answered all of the questions very honestly, and so his looks just exactly like real world him.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Like eerily so. Like right down to the small details, and he's just like, oh, that's weird.
Right down to the bruised rib, yeah.
It was actually genuinely unnerving how accurate this thing managed to be. And as you continue to play for a while, and then it's kind of like, congratulations, you have reached PvP mode.
Oh.
Okay.
Hmm.
Wonder what we win. All right.
And
Well-
popping up on the screen is like, ah, I recognize this person from earlier. It's the
Weird.
shitty kid that held up the traffic lights earlier today.
That
Oh.
kid. Hey, I need to send him a medical bill.
What's wrong?
fancy
Your
man.
baby skate's not fast enough to get to the arcade as fast as me?
I mean, we got to the game. Like we were still able to play.
Well, the
You didn't
fact
have to hold up traffic, you psychopath.
there's like a pause. Yeah, well, whatever. I just needed to make sure that I am the #1 gamer in Mainframe City. No one's better. I gave this game all of my information so I can make the best character.
That
I
is
don't
a
think
terrible
that's a
idea.
good. Yeah, I don't think that was really good. I don't think you can. You should brag about that. That's kind of lame.
Oh, were we not supposed to do that?
Well, oh, Prescott. Oh no.
Yeah. And you see the digital avatar stretch quite fluidly. Like, most of this has been kind of a bit like a PS1 low poly art, but his character is alarmingly fluid. It seems that, they definitely got something of a power upgrade with the amount of information that was kind of handed over. Yeah, it's good to be good at video games. But it seems this is PvP mode. All three of you gonna go up against me? Because you'll lose.
Okay, well, if you want to penalize yourself that badly, then, sure, yeah. I mean, we can kick this guy's ass.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think so.
we are totally kicking this guy's ass.
Yeah.
Let's get him.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Let's get him.
And a big digital fight breaks out. It's relatively protracted. After the first 30 seconds, you can tell that you are not going to win by going to toe to toe with the shit heel.
Oh no, bad. Heal. Ah.
If you
cast cure, damn it.
if you want to kick it up, if you stand a chance, you might have to cheat.
No, I am definitely going to cheat. We have an echo, just like as like Simba, like the vision of Simba talking to or like who was it, the Simba's dad?
Mufasa.
Mufasa talking to Simba. And it's like the questions like, what kind of class do you like to play, and then ever answering like status effects. And I would like to roll. I'm gonna roll cyberspace. And
Absolutely.
I'm gonna draw 2 cards for that.
Okay. Play 2 cards, friend.
Draw 2 cards. Those are mine. How do I?
Just drag them from your little thing onto the field. Virtual machine and glitch. Ooh,
And
very good.
glitch. Okay.
That's a good combo. I'm gonna put those up a little higher so people can see them.
Oh, yeah. So, how this works is like I just describe what I want to do, including these words.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then you make the roll and see what happens.
All right. So, I think we'll have like like the what I imagine happening is like the horrible rat person, just like the head part like retracts into itself, and like inside of the rat there's like a bunch more heads.
Oh no,
Like,
it's a rat hydra.
A red hydra, like that confer amongst them. Like there's a council of horrible rat creatures in there, fractal rats, and they go like, "All right, we clearly don't have the numbers. Rat number 1, we clearly don't have the numbers to win this the easy way or the fair way. So we gotta come up with something else." And rat number 2 goes like, "Yeah, I have an idea. You know, in the confines of the virtual machine, anything can happen." And rat number 3 goes, "Well, how do we make that happen then?" And then the original rat head goes like, "Well, we just glitched the system a bit." And the head pops back out with like a noise. And I want my avatar like charge at this kid's avatar.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to like lay virtual hands on him. And Depending on how well I roll, I can tell.
Let's see what happens on the other side. Let's see if this kid catches these digital hands.
So yeah, catch these hands in cybercrime. Roll through dice.
Oh
Oh
no.
God.
Oh no!
I mean, you
Roll
get to
two
re-roll
more.
2 dice, so you can.
Oh,
Thank-
Oh
I
boy.
know.
Okay, so this is
One.
important. Which of those dice are you re-rolling? Because obviously, any ones that remain are heat that apply to you. But it does mean that you get an elite token, so you get the choice of how many elite tokens you want to take.
I'll choose to reroll the 4. I do want to have an elite token or heat token.
Okay. Okay, let's see. You succeed. So yeah, you absolutely managed to lay hands on Shit Kicker 69.
He even has a better name than us.
Oh, he's perfect in every way.
Now after this, it'll be the shit liquor 69.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a good one too.
Great. Oh, I pale in comparison here.
But yeah,
But
you,
yeah,
you
what-
grab what happens.
What I want to happen is I just want like my beautiful red hydra body. I want that to happen to Shit Kicker 69's avatar. I just want like rats to like just be a part of the whole ensemble. So maybe like not to. Oh, maybe yeah. Let's take it that way. Sort of like furryfy the characters. Like make it like give it a rat snout, rat tail, paws, and that kind of thing.
It
Very,
is
very
truly the
furry.
year of the rat for this gentleman.
Year of the rat. I am the rat that makes the virtual rules.
Yeah, this game has managed to give you the custom status effect Ratify.
Yes. Aye.
And I guess they are now part rat now and are not pleased.
Yeah, Ebru goes,
You were an error, but you've been ratified.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they reel back in kind of confusion. No, this isn't supposed to happen to me. I have the most powerful weapons. I have the coolest hair. I have an asymmetrical fluff on my shoulder, and that means I'm the coolest one. And then meanwhile, there's like a siren starts to blare. Illegal hacking detected. And
Oh,
an admin thing kind of appears in the game, being kind of like, mm-hmm.
it's fine. Only Prescott's parents' IP address will be logged. We're
Well.
cool.
I'm wondering what kind of voice to give. I guess I could give a stereotypical kind of beep boop robot voice for this character, but they're very much like an unauthorized activity has happened during this game.
He did it.
This round has been nullified. Turns out that the computer that committed illegal error belongs to processing Wilkinley household. Seizing
No,
data.
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna try to. I pull out my. I toss the controller off to the side real quick, and I rush over to my backpack. I pull out my monitor, and I plug it into the game box, which also has a port for computer monitors. And I start clicking and clacking away with my broken wrist, and I'm gonna go for it again. 3 cards again.
Yeah, let's go.
Oh my god, Rebecca.
I love Haywire's do or die attitude. Oh, let me get rid of these existing. Boop.
Oh yeah, this one's gonna be tough finally.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Uh-oh.
let me pull out.
Thermal
Thermal, Megabyte.
and smoke screen.
It's
Do you-
okay.
Oh, go
Go ahead. Okay, it's okay. I think that I can try to trick the machine by creating a virtual smoke screen, and if I can do this just right, if I can do this just right, he won't know which household to target, and so I'm just gonna click it and clack it and again, it's sort of that entering that super like sort of cyberspace field of vision, kind of like his dream, except this time the giant hand belongs to Mega Man as he's reaching out for me. No, I can do this. I know I can. I just have to plug in the thermals. And I reach into my bag. And I start plugging in the wires and everything until my computer monitor starts looking like a what do you call it? Like the early edition Shadowrun Cyberdecks.
Just all wires.
No, I'm. Damn it! Damn this 1990s storage capacities. I don't have a megabyte.
You're so. Ooh, but wait.
But wait, I know what I could do. If you hand me your skateboard, I can harvest some some of the data out of your skateboard and upload it into the
somehow
system.
knew this would happen. So yeah, Jacob sort of like gives you the skateboard, and as you scan it in, like parts of it just fizzle and disappear as the thing snaps in half. You're not sure if it's because you scanned it in or because the thing is physically very fragile from the amount of times you wipes out on it.
Oh, okay.
You lose essence of skateboard.
No!
Oh, by the by, this is a very good time for somebody to spend an elite token to give you an additional 2d6 on this roll, because you sure as fuck need
I
it.
will. Absolutely, I will.
Okay, so how is Haywire being absolutely elite right now?
Look at this. He's hacking a skateboard.
Very true.
All right, there's one, and I have two more, right?
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Damn it! That's I think that's okay. That's 4 heat.
Oh wait, did you roll 2? You rolled 1 there.
Yeah, I'm about to roll one more. Damn it. All right,
Okay, so that would...
Can I transfer some of my rerolls onto these extra elite dice that I was given?
Absolutely. So those are your 3. Your 1 in hacking, your 1 in cyberspace, and these 2 from the elite token. And now you can re-roll any of these. So I guess you can
re-roll the 2 because I like having heat.
Absolutely.
Damn it.
And once
One
more. Well, you can do it 2 more times, I guess. Oh no.
Alright, well, there's 5 heat, baby.
All right. Yeah, this is so you do it. This one success goes through. Let's see. Continue to kind of like describe the in the game the effect it looks like while I prepare a cutscene elsewhere.
Yeah. So yeah, sure enough, the smoke screen goes into full effect. It becomes very difficult to see through anything. Haywire's avatar is coughing because he can't breathe because of all of the smoke. He starts wiping it away, and sees his allies and is like, "We got to get out of here quick before the E-fuzz gets us." And so luckily, because the replication of Haywire's avatar was perfect down to the last little creepy details, he is in fact wearing rollerblades and starts grabs onto the others, is like, "Come on, let's go."
Absolutely.
Whoa.
I guess you kind of exit the fight cleanly. So, are you going to kind of leave your system kind of plugged in? Are you just going to like bounce out of the house entirely now that this thing has gone down?
Oh, with 5 heat, yeah, I'm gonna make the stupid decision and I'm gonna leave that thing plugged in.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, your teacher is just chilling at their house, reading a newspaper, just kind of having an evening cup of chamomile tea and marking papers. It's nice and relaxing, the only bit of relaxation that he gets. And then his smartphone goes off, and he goes and looks at it. Oh, what's this? Illegal activity detected. And just all of these kind of windows kind of appear being like, I have tracked you down, Mr. Wilkinley.
Oh no.
You have successfully managed to rout away the attack from your home, which, as I understood, was the intent of the role.
Yes.
So you have
Yeah,
inadvertently, or maybe intentionally, I don't know how you do, rerouted that attempt to your teacher's phone instead, which starts filling up with all sorts of alerts and like progress bars filling up with data being seized.
Viruses downloading. spooky font.
It's actually like he can see like the apps on his phone disappearing as they are being seized by this AI.
Then his phone screen locks with like a laughing skull.
A query of data complete. Thank you, Mr.
I'll build you an
Wilkinley.
avatar.
Your submitted information helps us grow. Have a great day. And it disappears. And the teacher like stares at their now entirely blank phone. What the fuck? As we move to somewhere entirely else. It's reached evening at this point. As there's, I guess there's the kind of like, we get lots of like shots of the city as like sounds of rollerblades at high speed ruffling through like city street noises as you go and find a way to escape the proceedings. What just happened was definitely not part of the plan. Feel free to kind of like, I guess, what is there any kind of like conversation that you have while trying to kind of get the hell out of Dodge, leaving his dad behind, but I guess that's fine, or are you taking the dad with?
Oh, we're not taking Dad. Dad's got his own stuff to deal with.
This is good.
I can't inundate my father into the secret hacker.
Yeah, you can't show him to the life of crime. It'd break him.
Take it from me, parents just don't understand. So, and so, yeah, he rushes off and is just like out of breath and also like clutching at his rib. We made it. I wasn't sure I'd be able to pull that one off.
Vagabond is just looking at the leftover bits of his skateboard bite. The smiley face has now been somehow corrupted into a frowny by the way it's been destroyed. And you're pretty sure he's crying, but you're also pretty sure he's trying to look like he's not crying. Yes, we got away.
Yeah, it's on the skateboard. It says like on the back it says "skate or die," but now "die" is highlighted.
Oh, that's all. Yeah,
Oh.
totally says that.
Oh, on my my known goal, it was to, I believe, show a PC that I'm hot
You're
shit.
hot
I
Yeah.
believe it was. Have I accomplished that?
I
believe it was supposed to be FTW.
How do you feel, FTW? Do you think that was some hot shit right there? I mean, you thought that they were elite while they did it, so I think that qualifies.
Exactly. So I was like,
Cool.
I don't know how you did it, but you hacked the skateboard, and that's wow, that's really impressive. Like what FTW just like grabs your hand with both hands and like shakes it. Like, you're very good at what you do.
Well, I wouldn't have been able to do it if we hadn't, if Vagabond hadn't made sure to charge the glow-in-the-dark stickers on that deck before I went in and took the storage data out of the skateboard.
Vagabond just sort of continues looking at the skateboard and then sees what you're saying. He's like, yeah, I did awesome stuff, and he just sort of takes the skateboard and like throws it off. There's just like a stock sound of someone screaming as it hits them.
You get a Wilhelm scream, yes.
All right, we need to figure out what to do.
now. You all get an email from your teacher. It says something along the lines of like, I'm having to go and make this from an internet cafe. It seems that my computer has been compromised and all my data has been taken. Stay safe out there, kids. it's a harsh world in this digital life, and your precious things may leave you so fleetingly.
Wow. Should have been a poet.
Should have taught poetry.
Yeah, Haywire, you get a separate message, and is like, it mentioned your name. I am calling the police.
No, we're laughing. We're like laughing, and I imagine it's sort of almost like a montage of like wandering through the city, looking at our phones, laughing at everybody, laughing at the teacher's misfortune while eating weird carnival food like corn on a stick or something,
Mm-hmm.
and just having a generally good time. I don't give a fucks about the police because I'm clearly invincible. I'm on a power high right now.
You're riding high, absolutely. But yeah, it seems that whatever the heck the security system in Hyperion Point is, it's hungry for personal data.
Yeah, that is concerning.
I think Ebru does, like, still shaking, even though they've like visited various stands along the carnival grounds now, the festival grounds. Like, she is still shaking, like it's like Haywire's hand, because like,
I think you know, that was kind of dangerous, and I think that you should be careful not to do the police, because if the police come, then we won't be able to have cool hacking adventures together anymore, and I would be sad.
What are you talking about? You think that we can just sit there and let them walk all over us? Shit, we'll hack the police. We'll hack them all. Hack everything, I say.
Ooh.
Yeah, hack everything.
Oh no. Well,
We're just shouting this incredibly loud.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
This kind of
Hack
feels like
police.
it's some kind of meat space role to like not immediately draw attention to yourself, and I'm not quite sure who I should make do that check and whether I should be mean about it or not.
Both of us?
I don't think Jacob Vagabond has rolled in a while.
Oh no. Oh, this is terrible. Literally roll 1d6 for this.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
However, this might be something that Haywire thinks is elite as fuck. So
Maybe
you have points to spare.
I think trying to keep quiet about the man and all of the other stuff just sort of fuels the fantasy world that Haywire has built in his head about how dangerous and elite everything is.
Mhm.
And Vagabond's hiding it very well.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to roll 3d6. Ha!
Oh my god, that
Oh.
6 explodes. So
There it
okay.
is.
You're taking all of our successes.
So
I so am.
So I obviously you can let happen what happens, but I have two suggestions. The coward baby option is you manage to have a quiet rebellion and don't draw attention to yourself. The other option is that the public agrees with you.
We are totally, yeah. The
Yeah, no,
public
if-
agrees that there's like people who, like, some go half-hearted, yeah, and just like sort of keep walking on, it's like fucking kids. And then there's like some younger kids that will go like, yeah, revolution, and they start like throwing like their snacks around.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Hopefully
like
that's not right
a decked out
Yeah.
grandma covered in like digital accessories, like clearly like who didn't grow up with this, but like embraced it as like part of something new. And
Mhm.
like the grandma is like just with the whole, like, a bunch of teens like screaming hack the police down the street.
Mm-hmm. Hack the police. Hack the police.
Yeah,
This
that
is-
is happening.
Hack the
This is
police.
completely
Hack the
completely
police.
contrary to my secret goal, but whatever, I love it.
This is what it is. This is what it's always been. This is what we've always wanted. We've wanted a chance to strike back. We've wanted a chance to stand up. And if we're not going to stand up to the police, then who is?
Hack the police. Hack the
You're right. There's no cops for cops. We have to be the cops.
There are no cops
Yeah!
here. Yeah, absolutely.
Hack the cops.
Who cops the cops, man?
Yo.
Let's go get 'em.
So like, where we going? What we're gonna like riot, huh? We're gonna take it to the man. Who we taking it to? Or actually, you
Okay.
rolled the crit, so Vagabond. Who we taking it to? Red-haired dude.
Oh, there's a vagabond, and there's like a genuine moment of shit. What the hell do we do now?
Vagabond.
Okay, you know what? Vagabond's gonna say the arcade.
All right, hell yeah.
We're gonna wreck some shit.
The arcade, yeah.
We're gonna go into our rooms and we're gonna hack quietly.
Oh no,
Metaphorically, it will be very loud.
the snowball has started to roll, and so have the wheels of the various scooters, rollerblades, and skateboards as everybody mobilizes. Yes, including this one dude in the flat cap, as you all kind of like start marching from kind of the entertainment district where you guys are currently at back to the arcade. I'm gonna have to.
Vagabond
the
is
best-
shouting loudly as they're going, "Screw you, survey! I have friends."
Look at all these friends I got just now. Yeah. I
So
like
guess
this.
we go to the arcade.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
like where do we take it? Where do we fight the man? It's just by playing video games in arcade.
Hack the arcade. Hack the police. Hack the arcade. Hack the.
Hack the moon. Hack the.
Yeah, a handful of people are into it, and it's like going, hack the moon. It just they are absolutely just kind of falling apart at this point. This is complete chaos. I think we're gonna go back to the Undernight in-birth music because we're hype as fuck at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you all kind of like collectively. While I currently only have 6 of you on here, there's like a solid group of like 10 that
Nice.
simultaneously kick down the doors to this arcade. There is like one kid who's just about to go on the machines, being like, "I have waited all evening to have a go, and finally, hack the arcade, hack the arcade." Oh.
I'm hacking into the way this queue is set up, and then I push him out of the way. And
Yeah.
start playing the game.
Oh no! And he just fades into nothingness. His sole purpose from this narrative removed.
Is Naomi still in here as a question?
Yeah. Excuse me. What? Can I ask what's going on?
Revolution.
That machine of yours asks dumb questions, and we're gonna destroy it.
My avatar didn't look the way I wanted to, so I want edited. That's my mistake.
I see.
But also revolution.
Mine was extremely handsome.
I suppose this is what is known in the industry as review bombing, yes? I see. I'm afraid that we are not letting anybody else play the games for the rest of the day, but I do appreciate your time and effort, and I'm sure we'll be able to make great use of the data that you've supplied. So,
Bring me to your servers. Take me to the servers.
Oh, I see.
Servers.
You need convincing. I see. Well, maybe this will kind of get you to relax a little, I suppose. And an image kind of appears on one of the arcade machines, and it starts like it flickers to life and starts like radiating out energy. And oh man, I wish I took the time to make a token that could flip to a different art asset, but I didn't work out how to do that in time, so it's going to be inelegant instead, and it's fine. You get you get the little like weird avatar admin character being kind of like, I see, we have multiple complainers for this game. Unfortunately, we are not taking patching advice at this time, so I'm afraid I'm going to have to subjugate.
Oh.
What does that
Oh.
mean?
What? Can you Google that, Vagabond? I don't know what that means.
and it
Yeah.
like
Yeah, I can
changes
get onto one of the
in
arcade systems
aesthetics.
and pull up Google.
Stop, you misspell it like 3 times.
Yeah.
To a much kind of more corporeal, definitely crueler looking version of the model, and it's kind of like Jacob Hill.
Could you repeat that?
It goes Jacob Hill, referring to you, Vagabond, by your name.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, do you really think revolution like this is going to earn you the fat stacks of cash that you're looking for? Working for the filthy underclass isn't going to give you riches.
Oh,
Maybe not, but this will. And he is going to like grab any like he's going to take like the because you said there was a velvet rope thing before.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to take like the end of that and going to smash it into one of the arcade machines. So
Give
the
me a
money
meat
spills
space roll, friend.
oh my
Someone
God.
help.
I got no heat token.
I'm sure I have some. I've got so much heat,
Mhm.
and so yeah, I'm gonna give you an elite token. And
Cool, you're going to actually lift it, and he's just going to like direct you.
yeah, I reach over and I'm like, smash the machines, smash the system.
Hack the hardware. Poof. And he's going to roll and roll poorly.
Absolutely.
Oh
Ooh.
boy.
And it's not hacking, so you don't re-roll. It
No,
just
I do not.
it bonks off the like carbon fiber cladded exterior of this arcade machine as the figure on it kind of cruelly laughs at you with a weird like harsh metallic accent. I see. Your leadership skills are lacking. This is why you have no friends.
Ah,
That's
Whoa.
not true. He has at least 2.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Oh,
He
You're
counts
s-
on his fingers.
you're sticking up for him, are you, Ebru, darling?
Yeah, because we're friends. I didn't have friends, but now I have friends. So I know what it's like, and I think it's good.
Yeah, I suppose. Although, how do you know that they're actually your friends? Have they gotten coffee for you lately?
I swear, there's a good reason.
she looks distraught at the both of you, like, the thing is right. I'm like, the emotionally manipulative data thing is right. You haven't
Vagabond
gotten
is going-
Starbucks.
Vagabond is going to frantically look around for like coffee of any description.
Meanwhile, Naomi Logan is just off in the corner calling the police.
I didn't bring my rig. I didn't bring my system. I foolishly left it home. Left it at home. If only there was something I could do. I look over at the arcade machine and I'm like, no, nobody's ever done that before.
Yes, it does seem like leaving things behind and forgetting things is within your wheelhouse, Prescott Wilkinley. But then, I suppose it's for the best that you don't have your computer to hand. After all, you've not been very good at covering your tracks lately.
Damn it, they know. Maybe,
Oh, we know everything.
maybe I could. Damn it, I can't think of anything to do unless. Wait!
Mm-hmm.
FTW! Hack!
Yeah.
You can get into the interface. You can get into the interface of the arcade machine by pressing the right combination of directions and buttons.
Oh,
I
no.
bet you could. I bet you could use that to get into the source code of the machine, and then it's basically like hacking a regular computer, but probably way slower.
Probably way slower.
Probably way slow. Yeah, no, she's like, you're right, and I forgive you for the lack of coffee. And she like runs off to the arcade cabinet, and of course just tilts the arcade saying like up, down, left, right, BA start.
Yeah, go give me a hacking check, I guess. Cyberspace
I'm
check.
going to help because seeing this situation playing out, Vagabond is going to say, "Yeah, we're friends," and he's going to run over to like the adjacent console, and he's just going to bring out some random HDMI cables and just start plugging stuff in, and,
slamming it in there. Yes.
Yeah, they like start doing the hack in sync with each other as they're both like doing random button presses.
It looks like they're having like a fighting game match, but they're actually helping.
I absolutely love this. This is very, very good. Okay, so let's work out the math here.
So I
FTW
believe
is
that would
hacking.
Yeah,
So-
FTW is hacking, so that's that roll. Plus you get 2 from me, because thing. How many words do you want to pull?
Let's see. I think I'm gonna go pull 1
Okay.
because it seems like it needs like a one-liner, so I can't put all the 3 in there. So let's see. Perfect. It's dial in. So yeah, as like, there's like a split screen shot of Vagabond and FTW like looking at each other, and they've got like a confident smirk on their faces, and then they look back at like the arcade cabinet machines, like the blue light of the electronics like just reflected perfectly, and they are like syncing up completely, and their mouths move simultaneously, and they just say dial in. And now I roll 5 dice. 2 successes.
2 successes and one of those explodes. So roll again.
Roll again.
Just
Cool,
roll
and I get
1d6.
more-
And
Oh,
it
again?
explodes. Roll again.
Roll again. Okay, that's where it ends. So
3
it's
successes is pretty good. Heck yeah. Okay, so what do you want to happen on the other side of this?
So the goal is to get into like I think the goal is to like just erase all the personal information that they've gotten out of us. So I want to blow the servers wide open in a way that anyone can join in.
Ooh, you're making
So
it
I
open
want this-
source.
I want the Street Rebellion to go fully online.
Okay, absolutely. Oh gosh, this is a thing that can be done, and I have the scenes available to do, but I need to put some tokens around. I guess FTW is going to stay here to kind of keep that access point open. But like, as you do this, like one of the arcade machines like jutters to the side, and it seems that there's a door behind it, and the rest of you just kind of like bounce. You just all go like, nope, we are going to vanish, and we'll see you on the other side. Clearly where we are is important, where it's going is important. We'll see you there. And
Hack the moon, man.
meanwhile, you guys end up there's a server room in the back of this arcade inexplicably, and a number of members of the people who's decided to start raging with you have also kind of run with you into the back of this server room.
There's like I imagine that like the servers are encased in this like sort of like this glass structure to protect them, but they happen to be curved in just such a way that forms a half pipe in the hallway,
Oh
and
my
so
God,
we're like
yes!
rollerblading up and down down the servers.
As you do it, you realize, because of all this kind of like big plascrete glass that's protecting the servers, you can't physically get in. But no, you see, up in the ceiling, there's an access port, but it's so high. The only way you could manage to get it is with some sick air.
I can do this. Haywire looks down at his broken rib. I think I can do this.
You can do this.
We believe in you.
He starts trying to build momentum, going up and down, and on his first attempt, he sort of like he retches from the pain and is like and falls down like going down the half pipe like somebody who does like a half crash where like you. Haywire doesn't have knee pads; he just has knee piercings.
They just clink against the. Oh, that's a terrible sound.
And he gets back up. No, everybody's counting on me. I have to. And he starts
Haywire.
building up the.
Haywire.
Building up the momentum again, and he goes up to the top, and I'm gonna go ahead and roll it now.
Yeah.
And
Vagabond's gonna give you a boosty.
I get the d8s now, right?
Yes, you do.
yeah.
Vagabond is going to help you by giving you a boosty.
Okay, so
Roll an additional 2d8.
All right, and then an additional.
And then that 6
obviously,
exploded, so yeah, you get to roll a ton of dice. Ah, it's still just the one success.
And one more. Ah, damn it! One success.
So I'm gonna give you a hard bargain.
Okay.
Either that you connect, you manage to go and connect everybody in, but either this puts you in severe physical danger and you eat shit on the other end of this, or your connection is spotty and everybody trying to get in from this side is probably going to be in a worse position otherwise.
I'll eat shit and I'll rush. And so like I finally get enough air to get to the top, and I grab it, but there's no way for me to grab it and maintain my balance with my momentum in any sort of anything that looks even remotely similar to something that's safe. And so I reach up and I grab it, and I start flipping upside down. And just for a split moment, I think to myself, maybe I can make the flip, and then just the momentum doesn't carry, and I'm like, uh-oh. And I just like land on my head, or like on my like just really, really badly.
You break another rib.
Yeah, I break another rib, and I slide down the plexiglass, and I'm just sort of like I look like I'm mostly unconscious, and as you rush over to make sure that I'm okay, I look at you. My mouth's starting to pool with blood a little bit. And I go, and I'm like, I got it. I hold out in my hand the little key piece. Hack the planet. And I go unconscious.
Oh no!
Oh, it's beautiful.
Vagabond takes the chip and is going to try and. So this is like the personal data chip, basically, right?
This is a way to kind of get access to the true mainframe of the arcade system and take this weird data collecting AI on in full. The music has switched to sad because Haywire has eaten shit.
I look like a loser.
Vagabond is going to take the chip, and so it's something you could install and something to get access, right?
It's basically kind of connected up a big long extension cord cable from this port in the ceiling, so you now can get to the server proper.
He's going to plug it into his sort of Frankenstein machine and say, "I'm going to hack friendship." He's going to plug it into his machine and go into the main mainframe, I guess.
Absolutely. In that case, we're going to go and make a transition. FTW and Vagabond have already managed to connect to the arcade's mainframe, and the space is quiet and empty. It's just really clean. You see streams of data floating through the air. If you stare at it for a little bit, you're like, oh, I can kind of make out to see what's in that information. And you see it's, ranging from when people get home from work to their Netflix habits to like a social security number.
Can I say that because I did a really good hack roll that the avatar, FTW's avatar, has evolved further beyond Ratman and is now like standing on like bipedal, standing on two legs, like overly muscular, like a rat buff guy.
I don't have a
It's a
pog for that necessarily, but I could give you something cool. If you don't mind being a different character for a while. How does this feel? You transcend.
I'm a work in
no.
progress.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good.
FTW digivolves in the middle of a game that does not have anything even closely resembling digivolving to what is going to be the name of this avatar?
The Plague.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's cool.
I actually have a feeling that these nameplates aren't actually showing up on stream, but it's fine.
Yeah, so what you want to do is if you double click them, there it does have that show name thing, but on the advanced options you can choose who sees it. I don't know that these are separate options.
Oh. Well, it's too late now. We're wrapping up the story anyway, so fuck it. I should have asked before we started. I'm dying. Okay.
I'm defeated.
All right.
Fine.
Either way, we now have the Plague. They manifest, and you're now an entirely different form. You have maybe weird fine control over this space since you were so good at hacking, but there is. What do you think you're doing? This is off limits to bratty little children like you.
Taking apart your game.
Oh, this isn't just a game, darling. This is a whole new realm of wealth. After all, as a TV personality, I need to know how everybody best operates and what they like and what they enjoy and how to best serve them. It's serving them, really. I'm doing you a service. I'm making sure that the content we make is the best that it's ever been. And all you need to do is give yourself up. As much as yourself as you can.
The Plague starts speaking. I imagine they are this fully rendered 3D model.
Mm-hmm.
There's no animation files, so whenever it speaks or moves, it just slides along the floor.
Yes, very good.
And it goes, so you seek to steal information, but rather than appeal to the audience you have, the audience who loves you, you try to cater to them, indirectly steal who they are, just to appease them, to placate them, to make them listen to you. That's not entertainment, that's hypnosis.
Well, if they really loved me, they'd be willing to give up everything on the line for more entertainment, wouldn't they? But it seems that my words are falling on deaf ears, so I think I'll have my data do the talking instead. I'll see you on the other side. Ta-ra. And there is a rumbling, and the kind of AI monster humanoid thing shows up again, and they're quite small, and they kind of start to grow over time. I am all. I know everything about you. I know your life, your hopes, your fears.
Vagabond, that seems bad.
Vagabond high five.
You just lie behind each other simultaneously.
Okay, I'm out. Bye.
There is let's see. I think when Vagabond connected to the Severe, they said that they wanted to hack friendship.
Yes, they did.
Well, Haywire might not be connected to this server, but maybe if you use the soul of the computer, you can call out in a way that he'll manage to hear it.
Oh god.
Sometimes we're connected by wires, sometimes we're connected by Wi-Fi, but maybe in this one instance you can be connected by friendship.
Vagabond is going to like reach his hand out to the side dramatically and say, "Come to me, Phantom Account."
Yes.
Delightful.
Okay. How many? This is going to be a hacking check, by the way, a cyberspace check. So how many cards do you want to draw for
Cool,
this?
I'm
Because this
totally
is
doing
important.
I'm gonna do 2.
Okay. I'm going to kick in the heroic music now because this is going to be dope no matter what happens. So.
Cool.
I have
I'm going
a because I roll a 1 on the last thing.
Mhm.
I did have I gained an elite token. I'd like to spend it on my friend.
Oh, also, Vagabond. Previously, you managed to gain something on this computer previously, and you kind of kept it quiet.
Yes,
so,
I did.
is this a good time to work that in, or?
Yeah, this is the best time to work it in actually. As Vagabond says, "Come to me, Phantom Account," and like a screen just starts, just like pixels start appearing and coalescing, forming feet and moving slowly upwards, building like this very intricate 3D model. As Vagabond is going to open the trap door to let in the spirit of Haywire from the outside. And is going to, and this sort of continues happening with steadily more and more epic sort of things happening as it goes up. As he's typing hardcore into his machine, like shades, like things just appear everywhere, like trains start going by, cities start rising and falling in the platform surrounding them. As he's going to say, "Come on, Viper Staff!" And he's also going to like summon a weapon for Haywire to use because he's the muscle guy.
Okay, this is good.
describe
This
how
is
that works.
very, very good. I love this, and I'm looking forward to working with it. What was Vagabond's main goal again, if you remember?
Vagabond's public goal was to hack something that could not be hacked.
I'm going to award you this in advance. Because something very cool happens in the real world. Haywire, you have been laid out on the floor to kind of like recover, but like you start sparkling.
What's happening to me?
And yeah, like light just kind of like beams out from your backpack, your crushed computer, and also beams out from your eyes as your soul fully leaves your body.
Thump. And so as the form finalizes in on the other side, I'm like, is this heaven? God? Is that you?
It looks at you. Welcome to hell. Vagabond, go make the hacking check, but you get to roll d8s now.
Oh my fucking god, Haywire fucking dies. Alright, so that's 4d8, plus my 2 re-rolls, plus the 2 I get from the thing, so that's 68. Okay.
Rebecca, I can't stand
I know
it.
that is 1, 2, that's 2 successes, and so I get to re-roll 2 of them. In fact, what I'll do is I'll go into the macro and find a darn macro for this. Right, 2d8 I get to re-roll.
Oh yeah, 3
1, 2,
successes.
So I'm gonna get rid of that. I'm gonna keep that one actually and just get rid of one of the other numbers, so that ends up becoming 3 successes.
You're gonna get the heat, absolutely. What heat are you? What heat level are you at now?
I believe that actually puts me at 5 heat.
Okay, all right, nice. I see. Yeah, Haywire, you manifest in the network the staff of Asclepius in your hands. It has like gems for eyes and it glows menacingly. While you are in the network in this weird pseudo digital physical body, you can roll meat space as you would cyberspace.
Oh my god. Yeah.
You're in trouble now. You made a big mistake when you thought you could mess with my friends. Now I'm going to delete every piece of data in here, and I'm going to make sure that nobody ever that no evil corporation ever collects people's data against their will ever again. Looks
Yeah.
at the camera.
Like The Office.
Okay.
And so I'm going to rush forward with the staff, and I'm gonna start smacking the thing with them. Like I start whizzing past on my rollerblades while twirling the staff around in both of my hands. No longer fettered by the pain of a human body. My ribs feel fine. Actually, I don't feel anything at all. And so I'm going to smash into it, going full speed on my rollerblades.
Yeah.
Boom.
Ooh.
Oh my god, yes!
Ooh.
Nice.
And
Oh my God.
let me roll 3 of those. Or explode 3 of them.
This is
5
disgusting.
successes.
This is genuinely disgusting. Okay, cool. This is very, very good, but I want to resolve what happens with that just after. So,
Yeah.
somebody is going to go and provide hacking support, I think. You
Go
have...
for FTW.
Yeah. FTW, the plague.
The plague.
You are going to go make a cyberspace check for me as you give hacking support to boost Haywire. However, we're going to pull 3 cards anyway, and each of you is going to include one of them in your attack, your big combo attack to finish this guy off.
Yes.
Yeah.
So go and give your hacking check for me first off, the plague.
The plague. Alright, that's just 3d6. 2 successes.
One explodes,
reroll.
roll again.
Alright. No, that's
Wonderful.
just 2 successes.
The plague, please play and draw a card and describe your attack.
Let me draw 1 card. Hell yes. Alright. So what the plague does is like it hovers because still no animation files. So it just kind of like slides rapidly towards or like next to Haywire as he makes his like charge attack, and you've just like this giant big buff rat guy who's just kind of like hovering next to him, and like as you appear closer you can see sort of like streams of information like gathering in front of Haywire, like, or not Haywire, in front of the plague. If he had animation files, he would be like charging up, like moving his hands, like Chien doing like a blast, like a what is it called?
The
blast
key
attack?
blast thing, or
Yes. And like information, like strings of data. So Billy Bob from Kentucky watching Netflix at 4 a.m. in the morning goes in there. A social security number of everyone's of Ebru's teacher goes in there. There's a bunch of like personal questions going in there as well.
Oh, it's like an information spirit bomb. Oh my god.
Yeah. So like things gather, and you can see like in the ball forming, you can see sort of like rat tails popping out. So it's like becoming. If you've ever seen a Rat King, it's kind of becoming that. And with one big deep breath, the play goes system shut, and like a Rat King just like flies toward the enemy.
But as it flies this way, Vagabond is already waiting in the wings for their follow-up attack. Vagabond, please draw and play a card and describe your attack.
Awesome. Vagabond is going to do that. Oh, this is good.
Crackbox.
Vagabond, seeing all this cool stuff happening, is just going to. He's not particularly smart when it comes to this sort of thing. So he's just going to start running forward, and he's just going to go, and he's going, and as he goes, like the crystallized remains of Bite, the skateboard, appear in his hands as he's going to go and smack this guy in the literal face with just a skateboard and shout, "Crackbox!"
It explodes on impact, sending like a shower of like fireworks sparks as you launch this monster airborne. And yeah, it's like knocked up into the sky, and it's flailing its gigantic arms made of composited data around as it starts to slowly descend. But Haywire, you're underneath with your staff for one final attack.
I've got it lined up like a baseball bat, and I'm going to go ahead and draw my card, and draw one card, and see what we've got. Oh. So all right, okay, yeah, no, this is fine. Okay, so as he's coming back down, Haywire is sitting to himself, a being of data and a being of life at this point. He sits there and he says, Data is the most precious thing we have. It is integral to the communication between people, between all of us. And you have corrupted data with your evil purposes to suit your evil whims. Now, I am going to make a data transfer, not from the evil ways that you use it. This is a transfer of ideology. I will transfer data back into its pure state with your end. And I swing the bat. I swing the viper staff into it, severing it in half like a katana through an enemy. And then all of the force from the swing comes blasting out at it immediately after, like a samurai movie style. And it just sends it. All of that force just sends it flying off into the distance as it is slowly being disintegrated and being sent back to the computers that the game had stolen the data from to begin with.
You'll never see the last of me.
There's like a 4-way cut screen of just like lights and everyone just sort of getting scuffed backwards along this nondescript plane, all hit back by the force and light.
Oh my god, it feels like it's a very like in old like Kurosawa like movies where you make the slice and there's nothing for a while, and then all this data just bursts out of them like a gigantic gout of blood,
so cool.
as they just astral shot themselves into the far, far distance of cyberspace and become a star in the sky. As we, I guess, make our way back to the arcade. Who's in the arcade scene again? Okay, right. let's
Having
fix
to like
this.
started smashing up machines and stuff in our absence.
Hold on. Right, okay. I think we're in the position where we can do this again. Good. We make our way back to the arcade.
Can I make a request real quick?
Oh, sure, go ahead.
Before we go back to the arcade. Because Haywire is now like this pseudo digital being, he sits back in the data space and says, "You hacked friendship in order to let me be here."
Oh, sorry. Let's absolutely move back to this scene for that then. Hold on.
In order to let me be here, in order to let me help you in this final time, but I'm worried. I'm worried that someone else might come along and try to do this same dastardly trick. Unless someone is here to protect the net and cyberspace in general. I feel like I can't go back. Not back to the pain of waking up in the morning, not back to the pain of having a body that sits and aches when I crash into tables after falling from great heights. Here I feel nothing. I feel free. And I feel a great conviction that I need to stay here in the net and protect it from those who would seek to corrupt its use. What if someone else comes along that tries to collect everybody's data illegally? Looks at the camera.
You know you won't have to do that alone. You've got the hacker underground behind you.
Guys will be here to help me. But I'll be here too, to keep an eye on things and let you know when, if, hopefully, our assistance is ever needed again.
Jacob, I imagine his avatar this time has basically been like a more badass version of the one he's had before.
Mm-hmm.
But as he goes forward to hug Haywire, it sort of dematerializes into himself.
Oh.
And he hugs Haywire for like a split second before the entire illusion starts to disappear and he phases through him.
Yeah. Oh man. And then before long, you manage to disconnect. Actually, no. What's this? What's this nonsense that's going on up here? That's more important.
Don't worry about
going
it.
on? Yeah,
No, it's important before I do the epilogue.
Oh,
What the heck's going on?
Well, my public goal is to have a notorious virus named after me, and I am sitting at the nexus of all personal information.
You're kidding me.
Okay, go give me this one because I'm doing this relatively quickly. We don't need to have the actually no, it's cool. Go and give me a cyberspace check. You can draw hacking cards if you'd like.
But now I feel bad because I'm stealing everyone's stuff.
No.
Go ahead. No.
Last
Go
second
ahead. That's
betrayals are
Do
the
it.
fucking best. Do it,
Right.
friend.
That's fair. All right. I'm not gonna draw a card. I want this to just happen silently. I
Mhm.
also think like Ebru, like I think we have the image of like Ebru like looking into space and like she's tapping away at the like she's just flicking the arcade stick and like pressing all the buttons, but the plague is not responding to any of her controls or her input. So it's like just gain a life of its own. And
Interesting.
Prime directive is to just spread.
Very
become a rat swarm.
interesting. Okay, cool.
So
But
now-
yeah, with this kind of like heartwarming scene where, oh man,
Oh no.
they
Sorry.
collide into each other. I mean, that 6 explodes, by the way. So
Yeah.
it explodes, by the way.
Oh,
It keeps happening.
oh no!
Okay, right.
Okay, I'm
So
Oh, that's amazing.
we'll see what happens in just a sec because of course, we make our way back to the arcade. FTW and Vagabond walk back into the arcade, and Naomi's like,
Nope.
"Well, this wasn't really what I had in mind. I suppose it's back to the drawing board for me."
Maybe next time don't steal people's information for that. Just
Hmm.
she like Ebru looks away kind of shyly, and then makes eye contact with her, like very, like in a way, like exaggerating how a child like or a teenager like makes eye contact, like yes, I am not socially awkward.
Mhm.
It goes like,
I liked your show the way it was, so maybe you could just keep doing that.
Well, we'll see if the producers agree. Now, if you excuse me, I'm very rich and therefore immune to repercussions, so I'll be taking my leave. Bye.
Wow, Jacob, was that social commentary?
I believe. I have no idea. He's just gonna sort of shrug. What are the revolting teenagers doing?
They've kind of all settled down to go and play like multi-blood.
of course.
Yeah, they've.
Jacob's gonna shrug and
Mhm.
go behind the counter for like where you get the quarters and all of that. He's just going to take some money.
Mm-hmm. I think the mood chills out again. So let's.
He's just gonna hop over the counter again and said, "I am satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
We should perhaps explain the body."
Yeah. On as you both look away to kind of observe the multi-blood match and some free change to maybe like get a vending soda from the vending machine on one of the arcade machine screens.
Hey, I'm in here.
Hey.
Oh, everything. Hmm?
Okay.
Everything seems okay in here so far. Nothing bad at all is happening. Not now or not anytime soon, thanks to us.
Ebru sweats.
Yeah. There's nothing rampant in cyberspace out of control beyond their input at all, right? Haha.
Nope. And thanks to us, there never will be.
And
What are you guys looking at?
Nothing.
with that, thank you for playing Hack the Planet.
Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I really I really love the hacking system of like pulling the cards and
It was
coming up
so
with ways to
worth
incorporate
going
that.
through all that effort to go and make 40 art cards and tank
Yeah.
the very small amount of memory that Roll20 gives me to be able to make things just for that, because that worked really well. That was neat.
Yeah, that was super fun.
That was awesome.
Uh,
Also, thank you very much for our chat.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
awesome.
I'm so glad that everybody tuned in to go and watch us be rad teens on the internet, and we got a ton of like cool art and stuff. And I'm not necessarily quite sure of the best way for me to be able to like share that all on stream. I'm gonna work out how
Yeah.
to sensibly do
Oh,
that.
the hidden goals.
Oh yes, hidden
Uh,
goals.
Yeah, so the hidden goals were, well, Jacob's was to make a ton of money.
Mhm.
That was his one, which is why he took the money from the
Cash registers
cash
at the
register.
end. Yeah.
mhm. Mine was to get into an Ivy League college, which is the which I only hinted at during the when I mentioned the application thing that I was looking at in one of my tabs. It was an application to attend an Ivy League college.
Ah.
No.
Ah,
Well, I
there we
mean,
go.
now you can just hack into their network, I guess. You've got infinite.
I will attend all of the Ivy League colleges simultaneously.
You've transcended.
God.
I'm going through all this, so I'm gonna go and see if I can just paste it directly into fucking OBS, because
What
I'm a
was
professional.
yours?
My
But
secret goal.
Mhm, go
My
ahead.
secret goal was to save Haywire from themselves, which I super failed.
Yeah, a little
Like,
bit.
well, ooh.
I kind of like, instead of like the point where, that's why I brought up the like, hey, maybe we should ease off on provoking the cops, and that escalated into an arcade riot. And at that point, I was like, yeah, fuck it.
It's fine.
Fair.
This was going to happen.
There is no benefit to gaining the secret goals. It's just there for like a role playing.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything.
sort of,
You don't go up
yeah.
to like D10s or whatever, but it's just fun to have.
Exactly.
Yeah. Usually when I do tabletop RPG sessions, what I like to do at the end is kudos and comments. So it gives the opportunity of a little bit of decompression where every player can say one thing that somebody else did or a scene that they thought was really cool, and just kind of be like, hey, you did a neat thing and I want to shout that out for everybody. So Amy, is there anybody you want to give kudos to?
Oh, I want to give kudos to both of my fellow players, because Austin, yeah, you were brilliant at like coming up with the scenes for the various actions you took. You were so much better at that than I was.
Oh, thank you so much.
That was super cool. And Ruben, yeah, your voice work is amazing. I really love the voice
Thank you.
work, and I really love the character. It was awesome.
Oh, thank you so much.
Ruben, who would you like to go and give kudos to?
Oh, of course, to everyone in this chat with me. Are you kidding me? I'd like to start with Amy. Like, I really like Jacob as the sort of like airhead with a heart of gold, but also like is in for the money, but also just wants friends. Just really wants friends. And
He is
the
rowdy
scene-
boy.
just like the scene at the end where like I'm gonna hack friends. Oh, that's sweet. That was corny, but also really sweet. I really really like that one. Austin, like that, just you were just professional as hell. Like amazing, like you, like the way you describe things. I also really like that black and white movie description you did near the beginning, like with the teachers. That was really
Yeah, I like pretty much like like wholesale stole that from the actual movie Hackers, which I was sort of like watching a small bit before the before the stream so that I could get into the like the mindset and everything. But yeah, thank you so much.
and also kudos to our wonderful GM Nathan. Like,
yeah.
you have put in so much work, and that just like not only streamlines the entire experience, but adds so much just tactile experience. Like it just gives us so much to work with, so much to remember, and that is like very important. Like, we just like it feels like a playground, less like a collaborative conversation. It actually feels like we're all together playing with the same stuff, with the same tokens, and like that you put in the labor, and for that alone, thank you so much.
I'm really glad that like on the technical side of things it worked out as well as it did, and all the backgrounds and stuff kind of worked as they were supposed to. It gives me confidence that I can continue to use Roll20 sensibly question mark, as I kind of do future projects. It makes me really
anybody use Roll20 sensibly.
Yeah. It does make me super excited for future stuff though, and that this can go super well. Yeah, thanks to all of you guys for playing. I really appreciate you guys taking out the time for this funny old adventure. I'm always a sucker for a big anime team up attack, and y'all did that all so well, and it gave me life. I'm overjoyed. On the comment side of things, sorry.
I do wanna do my quick little round of kudos.
Oh, sorry, I missed you. My bad.
No, you're totally good. So I wanted to give Ruben some kudos for the 11th hour heel turn, and you know, going through with that, because you know that was one of your goals, and you know you went through with it, and more importantly, you made sure that everyone was comfortable with you doing that. I know it can be kind of a hard thing to do, a little bit of maybe a little bit immersion breaky, or at least it feels that way, but it's super important to do, especially if you're going to make a last minute big play like that. And so I appreciate that you did that. Amy, you were your character was very funny and super just I love the description of the way your smiley guy changed, and and like, so he had like this edgy coat, and still has the little Rayman hand. So I was thinking, like, in my brain, the sleeves of the coat just trailing behind, but the hands still being in normal position.
That's amazing. Yes.
Yeah. And Nathan, very quick on your feet, very good with using creating maps on the spot. I have dealt with that plenty of times myself, and you did it very quickly and very seamlessly. There are times where I do it and it is not quick or seamless. I'm just like, all right guys, sorry, I'm gonna have to mess with stuff on this map real quick. You guys just hang out real quick while I do that. But you had everything ready and good to go.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I learned it from you. Also, when you mentioning Vagabond's like avatar, I've just had all the art that Rebecca Doodles posted in chat, just rotating for the last little bit. It's very, very good. The cursed Mega Man head is I think my favorite.
Is amazing. Just two special chat kudos, by the way. Thank you, Rebecca, for all the drawings you did. Utterly amazing.
Absolutely.
And also, it's nice to see stabbiness in here.
Yes, I know, right?
Loki, I'm fangirling a little bit because I watched Brilliant Intent, so that's kind of awesome that literally a GM I consider a hero of the trade is here. That is amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it's going to
super
be a
cool.
thing. I mean, you know, all the people who work on Surprise Round are pretty dang cool, if I do say so
They
myself.
are all awesome.
And I would very much like to play with them in this kind of format, doing silly one-shots. Again, if they will have me, or if they would deign to visit, I would love to set out tea for them all. But maybe for the future times. But yeah, no, it's super cool that people kind of watch in. Thank you so much for watching. Just before we wrap up, the comments side of things is partially just kind of like a hey, we play games, we get inspired to do new things, or maybe this is kind of like, I'd like to maybe try this specific thing in a different game now that I've had this experience. So is there anything that you guys want to like in the next game I want to go and try this because this inspired me? I definitely want to do way more one pages on the stream in general. Just they're so much fun and so low pressure comparatively.
They absolutely are.
I think I definitely want to use more Roll20 because you use it very well. I use it in a Dragon Heist game I run on Fridays usually, and I'm very bare bones with it because I admittedly get very frustrated with the jankiness of the system. But I think having seen how you use it and you use it to quite a good effect, even when it's fairly minimalist, you know, that inspires me to try it more.
Absolutely. Ruben?
Hello. Yes.
Hi. Is there any kind of like now that we've played this, visions of the future, hopes in the year of our 2020, what dice we will roll in the future?
I want to be a player more often, especially for one shots such as this. I'm used to GMing very long campaigns, and that is like wonderful, but also this is a whole different kind of energy, like a different social setting, different goals. It really lets you get like play different roles and just like perfect your acting, because like role playing is a form of theater, I think, and this is a really good way to just like improvise short settings. Gotta make it punchy, gotta make it effective, gotta make it fun with everyone, and like maintain sort of like the snappy like the snappiness with the collaboration with everyone. So that's like my goal for the future. Also, I am definitely never going to put as much time to Roll20 as you are. You do have that. You can have that title from me.
That's fine.
You are.
And
Austin, yeah, go ahead.
I think this is maybe the second time I've ever been a player in a Grant Howitt one pager.
Oh yeah.
And because I run them all the time over on Surprise Round, and also through paid GMing opportunities and stuff like that. And these games are so much fun. Grant's a fucking genius, and getting to be a player at all is always a blast, especially when you're usually like a forever GM kind of person, and I'm okay with that. I've accepted my fate, but yeah, I really appreciate the opportunity to come on and hang out and meet some cool new people.
Oh, absolutely.
It's very nice to play with you.
I will definitely be running other Grant Howitt games in future. Sexy Battle Wizards is on the list for sure.
It's on my list too.
Excuse me.
Yep. You have 3 stats in Sexy Battle Wizards. I'm sure you can guess what they are.
Sexy Battle and Wizard.
But yes, that and a variety of other. I'm generally on the hunt for micro RPGs in general. So if y'all are listening to this either now or in future, go prod me on Twitter. It's in the top right, and tell me a one pager that I should absolutely play. But let's wrap up by letting everybody know who my fabulous guests are and where they can be found if they want to be found. Amy, who are you and where can we find you if you want to be found?
I'm relatively new to this sort of space, or trying to get into more of this well, like Ruben was saying, very much the acting style of role playing. I've done role playing for quite a few years, and I very much want to get into this more medium. So if you want to find me, I will be, I guess, here on the Neon Caster and Phantom Entertainment.
Ah, yes. Also, we can actually listen to some stuff that you've been on Tabletop Wise previously. There is a podcast called Roll On the Adventure, which a team of people, of which I have guested and Amy's guested a few times as well, make an RPG entirely from scratch over the course of 2 hours, and then playtest it a handful of times and try to break it on purpose. It's wild. All of those
super interesting. I could check that out.
It's really fun. Conspiracy Board is my favorite. We make an RPG that uses Trello. It's wild.
Oh, that was really cool. Yeah.
That is all available on YouTube. It's called Roll On the Adventure. So yeah, you can find more of Amy there. Ruben, where can we find you?
You can find me on my personnel website, thefriendden.net. It's where I put all my fiction. I write. I have not published anything in quite a while. I'm getting to that. Expect stories the coming weeks. I'm a writer again. It's great. So that website. You can also find me on Medium under at Urban Friend Den, and then you can see all the think pieces I've written about anime, about video games, about it's like just that's like the side where I host all my takes. TM.
And last but absolutely not least, Austin, where can we find you and your work?
Generally the best place to check is twitch.tv/surpriseroundrpg. I also have a podcast with my girlfriend called Duets with Dice, where it's one player, one GM, and one big story. We've started we've gotten through 2 different games so far, so there's a decent chunk of content on there, and we're a ways into our 3rd. And so if that sounds interesting to you, the concept of like a one-on-one game, I invite you to come check it out. Likewise, you can find me on Twitter at corpgeomancy, and them's the places.
Absolutely. I didn't know about your podcast, so I'm gonna check that out now. It's apparently on Spotify. Hell yeah.
It sure is.
You can find me, your androgynous android game show host Nathan Blades, right here on the Neon Caster. You can also follow me on Twitter at PhantomArtsEnt. That has a variety of all my various and sundry projects, podcasts, streams, other RPG content. I made a zine recently. It's called The Queer Cyberpunk's Guide to Tabletop RPGs. You can get it on sixofspades.itch.io, or just kind of like Google it. It's a very silly name. I will post it in the Twitch doobly-doo.
Hold on, hear this? That's me flipping through the queer cyberpunk's guides to tabletop RPG because I have a physical copy. It's very good. You should get it.
I do have a very, very short print run of physical copies of that. If you ask me really nicely on the internet, I will mail you one for a small fee plus shipping. But you can it's pay what you want on itch.io. It has advice on how to run mysteries in RPGs, because that's difficult and something I really enjoy doing. So maybe you'll enjoy doing it as well. Who knows? But with that, I think that's a show, ladies and gentlemen in the non-binary. I think we'll all see you again next